David, just out of interest, are you okay? So it's starting.
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air, testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks. We'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with ease. So if your meetings lag, or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We've got your back, no wreck. We've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in the fun, engaging way.
I sing along every week. Hey, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. I started my show last night and no one could hear us for the first 15 minutes. I think I figured out the problem. So, okay, that's not funny, Robert. Stop, all of you. Just quit it. No, okay.
I have a vested interest. I want to know the problem.
No, they're all making fun of it. They're all going, oh, I can't hear it. Good to see. Oh, wait, I never changed my name. Wait, I've changed my name. Hello, everyone. Let's make the rounds. Let's say hello. Oh, my gosh. I'm so happy to see Robert here. Hi, Robert.
Hey, David, I can hear you. I can hear you very well. And I was just laughing because I just realized today at the end of that song, when they start clapping, there's the sound of a cockerel going off in the background. It sounds so
That's funny. I just yesterday started getting back into Suno and playing around with it and seeing that's what it can do is really pretty amazing. It's just stunning. Really is.
Mr. Paskin, we did have a request at the end of last week's show for a Christmas version of the Zoom Test Kitchen theme song.
So let me just get this right. Make sure I understand this. You're asking the rabbi to make you a Christmas version of the Zoom Test Kitchen. Okay, I can do that.
I think we could do
I-
holiday version.
Sure. Officially, the terminology that was used by the community was Christmas.
Jingle Zoom, let them in the room.
Who needs AI?
Who needs AI? Hey, Mike,
Bring
say hi
out
to
the
everyone.
broom.
Mike, say
Hello,
hi to
everybody.
everyone.
Welcome
everybody.
to the
Hi,
Zoom
Mike.
Test Kitchen. If you have any questions,
you?
I'll be on YouTube grabbing that for our big crowd that we got here as panelists this week.
We have a nice crowd. Ray Franklin is watching from Central Florida, middle of a project. Peter Sargent, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I've been playing with Zoom graphics and Zoom tiles. Having
Oh, yeah?
marginal success on tiles because I unfortunately am on Tahoe, and tiles and Tahoe don't always get along.
That's true. And for what it's worth, I sent Liminal that I've been getting a whole bunch of crashes, and they wrote me back saying, "Yeah, we're not officially supported on Tahoe."
Yeah,
yet.
I did the same thing,
Yeah.
and I got a response back saying they said they think it's fixed in the latest release candidate, and I sent them back some stuff
26.2?
saying, and I sent back some stuff and said, no, it's not.
Oh, okay. I haven't tried it on 26.2 yet, so we'll have to see. All right. Fred, how are you, sir?
I'm not cold anymore, thank you.
You're not cold. You're back home. Are
I
you
am
home?
back home, yes. I am not in Champaign, Illinois, freezing my ass off.
How
Oh my
was it?
God,
How was the gig?
that last weekend was terrible. I mean, the
Really?
gig was fine, but the striking in the snow was not fun.
Wow.
No.
So
That's intense.
yeah, it was. But I'm
Wow.
back in lovely Arizona. It's like 80 some degrees now. No, it's probably in the 60s outside right now. I don't know. Let me look. Let's see what's the weather today. Whoop, look at that.
Love it.
It says that it is. Come on. 63 degrees outside.
We'll take it. I used to have a lower third that could pop up with my weather. I don't have that anymore. Hey, Gerald, the solution man is here. How you doing, sir?
Hi, David. Good to be with all of you this week. Have a nice turnout.
You look hazy today.
I'm not on my regular high-end camera, so it's a camera issue. So that's why it's lower megapixels than normal.
I'm not actually complaining. It's actually relaxed. It's quite. You look relaxed.
It looks like you put your fingerprint on it.
Yeah. It's right.
Yeah.
John Drinkwater. Sorry. It looks overexposed, John says. Always the critic, John Drinkwater. Always the critic.
Thank you,
Say
John.
hi, John. Say hi, John.
Well, I don't want to say hi now because the way you've introduced me, it's going to look bad because what I'm going to say is we had a problem this morning in Europe. Cloudflare got kicked hard again. LinkedIn went down, Zoom went down, lots of things went down. I had to switch at emergency level to a, how do I put this? A webcam meeting application by a company called Alphabet. And all I can say is, guys, I'm really, really, really sorry. I hope that well, I just hope you can all come and use Zoom, because if you're using that for meetings, then I'm really, really, really sorry.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I'm sorry, Alphabet. It is terrible.
This is the third Cloudflare outage in the past couple of weeks, and boy, have they been having some. I don't know enough about Cloudflare and their place in the pipeline to understand why they've been having these problems, but I don't know if anyone else does. But
It's maths. It's simple maths.
math, really.
There are really three main providers of infrastructure. There's Microsoft, there's Amazon Web Services, and there's Cloudflare. And so if you want to be disruptive, there's three big targets that you can pick on, and you're gonna be disruptive. And the other
and is
thing
that what's going on? This is someone else being disruptive?
Well,
Google-
there's also there's also not three. There's an underlying issue with the whole internet around DNS and that sort of thing, and it's always been there, and I just think it's just not a secure way of running the internet nowadays. It is so easy to break DNS chains and take down sites. I don't know what the problem was today, but there are some significant vulnerabilities in the internet that they really need to fix, at a global scale and make the life more secure for us. We're very secure on the internet side for getting the signal, aren't we? Because of the way it can go around the internet and get a connection to you somewhere. But the way it finds those links originally with the DNS and lookups to go and find where your website's going to be, that just seems to be such a fragile system in this day and age. It's a shame. But it was fixed pretty quickly today, so it wasn't out for more than an hour or so.
Yeah, I mean, is there a fix for that infrastructure problem? Like, is there a way for us to, not us, but for the world to kind of address that?
There's not a way for us to fix it. There has been an RFC proposed at the internet consortium level to fix it, but it requires every service provider to make a change.
Oh, really?
And we're talking thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's
Right.
it's nothing we can do at our end, by the way. It's nothing we can do at our end. Meaning,
Right.
No, that I
when it-
understand. Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to the actual DNS technology, that's correct. Yeah, it would have to be a global consortium, like Peter was just talking about, to actually make that change and everybody adopt it globally.
I mean, that's happened before. That's absolutely happened before. So if this is serious enough, then eventually we'll get that done.
Not
In any
happens
case,
as often as you might think.
Yeah.
no,
not-
I'm not suggesting.
Do you
Yeah.
realize that the entire telephone system, mostly worldwide, is open?
What do you mean open?
The signaling system 7 has never been completely shut down. It means people can spoof phone numbers. That's the control system that runs the phone companies.
Well, that's why no one makes phone calls anymore.
You never use your cell phone to make a phone call?
Literally almost never.
Okay.
Literally almost never.
It's also why text messages get through too.
Oh, well, that's a problem then.
Yeah.
Hey, Tamara, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Long time no see.
Long time
to
no
see
see.
you.
Glad to be here. I had to come see the song. I've been playing with Zoom graphics, but not as confidently as Peter.
Yeah.
I'm still in the confused phase.
The confused phase.
Yeah, me and
I-
ChatGPT, I'm like, hey, tell me what I should know in the simplest of terms. Here's
Oh, are
all the
you actually
documentation.
trying to do some of the coding stuff?
I'm just trying to understand how I can I use it in meetings? How can I use it? How can I, I have like these, I don't want to diss the event by saying it this way because it's not true, but like I have low level events that are like in meeting events that I don't really feel the expense to move them to something bigger makes
Right.
a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I do want to up level those particular events. They're for high end kind of organizations but they're nonprofits. I don't want to charge them a gazillion dollars. So I'm trying to figure out if it's something I can learn and use and,
Right.
figure it out. I'm
You
always
can
at
learn
it.
it, Tamara. It's straightforward. You just need someone to hold your hand through the first time, and then you'll get
Uh-huh.
the knack of it very
Yeah.
quickly.
I feel just listen, I've read the documentation in theory. Like, I'm like, wow, this feels like it would do what I want it to do, which is like just give a little sparkle, a little something extra to some of these other events. So I'm open to learning. I just am like, you know, I waddle my way into the waters that are crazy new things. But I have a feeling this is actually something that I would really enjoy and would be able to utilize in a lot of different ways. So
Just give us a shout out in the Discord channel when you have some time. I'm sure Peter and I can.
Yeah.
okay,
Peter, I'm
I mean,
speaking
I'm just using it. I mean, I'm not doing, I'm like, I only do stuff for volunteer stuff for the Boy Scouts, Tamara. So it's,
yeah,
I definitely, this is my nickel, not theirs.
right.
So I'm doing,
How are you using it? Like, give me just a use case scenario.
so a couple of things I had to learn. One is I front end it, or is it back end? Can't keep the directions straight with OBS.
Okay. So I have OBS and I have Ecamm. I'm assuming one of those, either one would work.
Well, what I found is it didn't work with Mimo Live.
Okay.
That was the key thing. And then with OBS, believe it or not, I send it to a green screen in OBS
Oh,
and
interesting.
then use my ATEM to key out the green screen. And
Okay.
then I can overlay whatever I want. I have multiple scenes in OBS to say, am I showing closed caption? Am I showing the active speaker? Am I showing the chat?
Okay. Okay. I have all those toys. I listen, I bought all the toys. I'm learning how to use them slowly. So I think I have all the mechanics, like the things I could do to do it. I feel like whenever I go to, and this is not at all a criticism of Andy or anyone on the Zoom team at all. This is not a criticism. This is my misunderstanding. Every time I go and they introduce something new and cool, I kind of am like, give me exact use cases. And they're like, you can do so many things with it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes. But I need like here are 15 different ways you might use this tool. Like, and I always feel like I'm so overwhelmed because I'm like, wow, I'm so dumb. I think I'm able to use it in these ways, but I have no idea.
Well, the biggest one I use it for is live is the Q&A function.
Well, that's my number one thing that I want it for is Q&A. And then the other thing would potentially be closed caption. Because I am recording into like with Ecamm, and then I would like it to maintain. So those are things I would like to do with it. The Q&A especially, because I don't have that kind of set up.
We can help
I
you with
wish I
that.
could.
That'll be very easy to set up. The challenge is always where do you want to show it? Because if you're in a meeting,
Right.
you need to be able to overlay it onto someone's feed. So you either
Well,
dedicate
I have 4 computers that go into that. So one of them could be mine, essentially, right?
without getting into details here. The challenge is if you feed it through something else and go back into the meeting, you've got all the problems with sound lag because you're
Right.
coming in having been processed and you come back in and the person who you're
Yeah.
spotlighting is out of sync with everyone else. So
Right.
and with audio, of course. But we can talk about this in detail.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to waste any more time on that.
So this is the toolkit, Zoom Graphics Toolkit, and unfortunately, I can't just bring it in as an overlay. There's still a bug somewhere between Zoom Graphics Toolkit and Ecamm that
Okay.
doesn't allow it to be transparent, and I don't know why. But you can see the messages kind of scrolling up on the right there.
Mhm.
So you can imagine that as an overlay on top of.
So then it
But,
sounds like I would have to use OBS and I would have to use my ATEM.
Well, you would need to get right. You need to overlay it on top of your
Right.
feed somehow.
Now,
Okay.
so David, I tried, one of the things I did try with Zoom Test Kitchen, Zoom Graphics, is again, I did the same thing. Instead of saying transparent background, I let it pick, I just literally picked the apple green from the picker and then keyed it out.
And then keyed it out.
Keyed it out in Memo Live. And then it worked perfectly.
Yeah, I could do that, I guess. That's that. Yeah, I mean, fill. All right, let's do a fill. So I'm going to choose the fill. We'll do
pick
I
that
mean, it
out.
doesn't have to be perfect for right now. So let's just try that.
Right.
That didn't work. Why did that work? Oh, I know why. Okay. And so now I'm going to come over here and go into this and let's add bada boom. And I have that already. That's there. Chat. We'll do high resolution mode. We'll keep it running and add widget overlay. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Oh, no, that's interesting. Wait a second. Widget border with corner ray. I didn't even key this out. So how is it? Huh. Can someone, that's so weird. Can someone send a message in chat? And let's see if this actually works. Oh, see, look at that. So why isn't that working? Edit widget. Let me try this again. Copy that and put this over here. Yeah, we'll just fill entire frame. That's fine. Huh. So now, yeah, I think there's still a bug here, unfortunately.
David, can you pull that web page up into a regular browser to make sure you're getting it?
Yeah. I am. Well, yeah. So here it is in a regular browser.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a there. This is a known. There's been a known thing for a while. I thought they fixed it, but apparently they haven't.
And that we're talking eCam here, or we're talking?
Well, yeah. It has to do. If I remember correctly, it has to do with HTTP versus HTTPS. So there's something about maybe eCam requires HTTP. I don't understand. It requires one of the two, but Zoom Graphics Toolkit is sending the other one, or it's not converting it correctly. I don't fully understand.
Is there another
so
Fred on here today?
Say again?
Is there another Fred on here today? I'm not Fred A. Where did that come from?
Fred A. I don't know. Fred A. Who are you? Come say hi to us.
I don't see him in the list of participants. I only see me in the list of participants. So where did the A come from?
So where are you seeing Fred A then if you don't see it in the list of participants?
When you had that screen up again with the green background.
Oh, the test. The chat, you mean?
It says
oh,
hello. It says Fred
look at
A.
that.
That's not
Look
me.
at that.
Like random
that's
people.
interesting.
That's very
Did you
interesting.
type hello?
I did.
Well, I think I've noticed it always truncates the last name.
But his last name starts with
Starts
a D.
with
Maybe-
a D.
Maybe
Then
it's
I don't
taking
know
the
where the
A
A
from
came from.
Arizona.
Oh, maybe it's taking the A from Arizona.
Bad parsing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Because I do have my name as Fred Domenicotti, Phoenix, Arizona. So maybe it took the first name and the last. So maybe that's where I got the A from.
Rename yourself and let's test that theory.
Yeah, let's see. That's fantastic. That's really funny.
Let's test
That's
kitchen
great.
that.
That's great. All right, let's see. So there we go. All right, so he just changed his name to Fred Domenico, and there it is, Fred D. That's fascinating. You're on mute, by the way, Fred. That's great.
So
Good
that's
catch.
what it was. It took Arizona.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Good catch. Good catch. Yeah, so it's still not working for me in
So is that a
eCam.
catch or is that a bug?
I
'Cause
mean,
it's-
how is it supposed to parse anything other than first word, last word as first name, last name?
Well, but Arizona is the last word, so it parsed out the first character of the last word.
No, I understand. We know that, but the question is that a bug or not? And I'm not sure that that's a bug.
I don't think it's a bug.
No,
Yeah.
it's a feature.
It's a feature. Huh.
How many decades have you been hearing that phrase, Mike?
Oh goodness.
It's
I
not a
didn't have
bug.
any gray hair. Let's put it
It's
that
a
way.
feature. Yeah. We didn't finish going around. Wait, I said hello to Tamra. I didn't say hi to Erm. How you doing, Erm?
Doing well, thank you. How are you doing?
Good. It's so good to see you here. We missed you
Nice to be here. Thank you.
for a
Hope
week or
everybody's
so.
Thanksgiving.
Yes, absolutely. And Hasmuk, how are you, sir?
I'm well, thank you.
How's your shoulder doing?
I don't know if I told you about how they dose you with opioids after the operation.
Well,
So,
I think it was last week. You were funnier than usual. So,
oh, okay. Did I tell you I was looking for my brain after 4 days, and I decided to decide to stop all medication, and then suddenly I found it. Just going back to Zoom Graphics Toolkit, I used it before the last update, and I used it in an event mainly to scroll the chats, and that was getting people to put in chat which area or store they are from. So it was a lot of fun as it was scrolling past, and the talent was quite amused by that whole engaging process. I try to use it for polls. I haven't used the newest updated version, but the polls kind of needed some work. And the way I overlaid it, I use H2R Graphics as my graphics tool. And H2R Graphics supports web pages. So I put the link of the Zoom Graphics Toolkit into H2R Graphics, and that's how I overlaid it into the meeting.
Yeah.
sorry, I'm muted. You could do that directly using the H2R Graphics app within Zoom, correct?
Well, I normally always use H2R Graphics for lower thirds and all for the production. So
But
instead
what I'm
of
saying is, you
go
could
ahead.
use it the Zoom app. You wouldn't have to necessarily. I mean, could you just put the URL in using the Zoom app?
But how would you overlay it into the meeting?
Oh, I'm thinking of SPX graphics.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, no. This is
Sorry,
yeah, no, that's fine.
that's different. Yeah, you can't. I'm looking at the SPX graphics. It doesn't look like you can upload your own thing.
The usefulness of it was to create different graphics for each URL, so I could switch on either the chat or the poll, and then the other tools I use with HDR graphics. So I didn't have to use another tool to overlay Zoom Graphics Toolkit into the meeting.
Sure. So does H2R have H2R? Do they have a Zoom app? No, they don't.
No.
No. They don't have a
You
Zoom
still
app,
need it.
but
You still need to overlay it somehow.
yes.
Right.
So.
And so, sorry, remind me what you were using OBS to overlay it? Or Mimo?
No.
You were using Mimo.
No, who's that? Peter? Is that question to Peter or to me?
No, to you, Hasmuk. You were using
Yeah.
Mimo?
No. I don't. So in H2R graphics, one of the graphics elements, let's say you get lower thirds, you get balloons and all sorts of graphics built into the application. One of them is to have a URL to as a graphic. So you insert your URL of the Zoom graphics tool that you want to, let's say the floating chats. So you
Right,
plug
but then
that.
how do you get that into Zoom?
Or you get into Zoom the way I do overlay it through the ATEM. So
Through
key,
ATEM. All right, so you're
yeah,
using a hardware solution.
Yeah, I key it in.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing that I'm trying to do here. It's broken right now, but with Ecamm, it's the same idea. It's just a software solution rather than a hardware solution.
Well,
Gotcha.
except he still needs the hardware solution to key it in. That's what
Correct.
HDR graphics does. What OBS is doing for me, it's the same concept. It's providing a
Exactly.
keyable solution. I mean, the nice thing about H2R graphics or OBS is now I have a way to control it via companion.
Wait a second. I think I just got super confused though. Hasmuk, Zoom Graphics Toolkit gives you a URL. Why do you
Yes.
need H2R Graphics to give you a URL?
No, it
No,
takes
because
a URL.
it takes the URL because I need to overlay that URL somehow. So I key it in. And to be able to key it in, just like a lower thirds or anything else, to key it in, one of my graphics in H2R Graphics is the Zoom Graphics Toolkit.
Right.
So if-
But then how does H2R Graphics get into your ATEM? That's the piece that I'm missing.
Oh, it's through a extended screen that's as an overlay onto into the meeting.
Okay.
So that's
I
how
understand now.
that's how I key it in.
Right. I guess
So
what, but I guess the question remains. I'm like, I can take, so this is the Zoom Graphics editor, right? I can just click on this link and it gives me a screen with the overlay on it,
Mm-hmm.
which I
right.
can you should just be able to pull this in the same way. I'm not sure why you need H2R Graphics to do this.
I need a tool, either OBS or Mimo or something to overlay through my hardware as any other graphic I bring into my meeting. Any graphic I bring into my meeting is through keying it in through the ATEM. So my source of the keying in is H2R Graphics. Have I confused you?
No,
Let
it
me
wasn't you. I'm just story of my
Yes.
life. I
well,
mean,
let me
that's
try a different path. No, because I think I know where. So he has multiple things he's trying to key onto his whoever is speaking, whether it be the chat, whether it be his lower third that HDR graphics. To simplify it,
Or logos.
or logos, like I just put
Mhm.
my C Scout logo up there in the upper right. All of that has to be somewhere, right? So he feeds, and this is what I'm doing with OBS right now. I'm feeding the web page into OBS. OBS is saying, yeah, I know what to do with that. It's a source, right? I'm overlaying it on top of a giant green screen, 19 by 20 by 1080 green screen. Sending that, now in my case, I'm using an Ultra Studio monitor output into my ATEM, and then I'm just, using a keyer.
right. So here's
Yeah, I need a graphic.
okay. So here's what I'm hearing, and maybe I'm wrong about this. Here's Zoom Graphics Test, whatever it's called, toolkit. Okay, in my workflow, if it were working, Zoom Graphics Toolkit would generate a URL, which I would put into Ecamm, which I would then put into Zoom. Bada bing, bada boom.
Right.
Your workflow is Zoom Graphics Toolkit creates a URL, which you put into H2R Graphics, which you then send into your ATEM, which you then send into Zoom. And I guess what the piece that I'm unclear on, and maybe this is just because you're using hardware, is it looks like I have one less step than you. Right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well,
you've got 1, 2, 3, 4,
what
5.
else? I would ask the question, and Hasmuth, I think I know the answer. What else is HDR graphics providing to him?
Well, that's the point.
Right.
It provides all the graphics for the production.
Okay,
So,
I
So
understand
instead of
now.
one
You're
URL,
not
it's like
using it. You're not
So-
you're not using H2R to get the Zoom graphics toolkit in. You're using it to get Zoom graphics toolkit in, but you're also using it to get a whole bunch of other garbage in.
Yeah. So
not garbage, stuff.
Yes.
Beautiful, lovely things.
That was
Sorry.
offensive.
No, I didn't. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
I'm joking.
Okay,
I'm
I
joking.
understand now. I understand.
Yeah. No,
What?
so sorry. So I push I key in the logo, or I prepare holographics with Keynote, lower thirds. HR Graphics itself has balloons that you can send at the end of a meeting. But the value of this is that in Zoom Graphics Toolkit, I can have a poll graphic, I can have a chat graphic, and I can have all these different options in Zoom Graphics Toolkit. Each of them can be a separate graphic in H2R Graphics.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I use, like Peter said, I use a companion button to switch what I want. So I can have at the same time a chat going on, and while there's a poll, I can show the poll graphic as well by simply getting the HR graphics to show both graphics at the same time.
Right. Sorry, Robert and Tamra, please.
Let me try and answer your question more directly, David. With an ATEM Mini, if you feed in a URL, it comes into the downstream. So it'll come out in the output that you're sending to YouTube or somewhere else, but it won't come out onto your virtual cam feed. You have to feed it in.
Wait. Say that just one more time for me. Okay. So you bring a URL into ATEM.
Correct. It comes in the downstream. In other words, you take the output that you have, you layer it on, and then you stream it out to whatever stream you're sending it to, not to your virtual cam.
Why not? Why is that
your
not
virtual
considered
cam shows
you
the virtual cam contains the output of your ATEM. It doesn't contain the output plus the downstream.
Okay.
So in order to overlay this in such a way that you can get it onto the virtual cam, you have to bring it in as a source. And that's what Hasmukh is doing. He's using H2R graphics to bring it in as a source into his ATEM, and then overlaying it onto his image on his output, and then he can take it out to the virtual cam and do whatever he wants with it.
So there are essentially two different ways to bring H2R graphics in. One of them would work brilliantly if you're streaming to the web, for example. The other one would work is necessary if you want to bring it into Zoom using a virtual camera.
That's correct. And the other difference is that when you bring it in the downstream, you can't actually see what's going out unless you look at the YouTube event itself, because you don't see what's going out.
Gotcha. Tamara, what's up?
Can you give me what you just did was kind of the software route that it takes. What does that look like in terms of like the hardware? So Zoom graphics is on computer A, monitor B. What does that route look like? So does it make sense? So like if I have Zoom graphics on one computer, and then how is it getting into the others? And like you guys have said, I'm bringing my second monitor into ATEM. Does that mean your regular computer goes into one, which is what goes out to you, and then your monitor goes into two? Or like, what does that hardware path look like?
So
you're just about right. So H2R Graphics is running on a computer, and that computer is an input into ATEM.
Yep.
And it's let me step back. The H2R Graphics is feeding into what we call an extended monitor on my production machine. So and I open the H2R Graphics window into that extended window.
Yeah.
And that extended window is an input into ATEM.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Or in the case, so let's try. You're using OBS most of the time, Tamara?
Listen, I have all the things. I don't use anything most. I probably use Ecamm most, but that doesn't seem like my thing. So I have on my desk 4 computers, 5 monitors, and an ATEM. and I have OBS, and like I have all the things. I can learn any of them because I'm equally inept at all of them.
I have
So whatever
all the
you
things.
tell me, I
Okay.
will.
So so I have a Mac Mini M4
Excellent. I have that too. Okay, good.
but I use the Ultra Studio monitor coming out of it, which is a Blackmagic box.
Yep.
That to DeckLink. It shows up as a DeckLink device, and I use OBS talks to that.
Okay.
Okay. OBS knows how to output something to a DeckLink device, and that goes into my ATEM directly. Okay. Now, behind OBS is running Zoom Graphics Toolkit, right? And just like what Hasma was saying, he has all the URLs set up, so do I, and they all show up as OBS sources, right?
Okay.
And I could turn a source on and off via Companion.
Okay.
And so essentially, so what you're seeing right now is I turned on the source and Companion to feed the scrolling chat into my thing, and then over on my ATEM, it comes in its own source, and I key it in.
So in a way, it's like I'm going to start mixing terminology, but it's almost like each of those sources like creating different scenes. Each of these things is going to do whatever you want it to do, and you turn them on when you want them to do those things.
Well,
so if I have
yeah, exactly. But to be very clear, I have one scene with all the different Zoom graphics sources defined as sources.
Right.
And then, using the little, click the little eyeball, if you will, next to the source name, makes them visible or not visible.
So that makes sense. In like Ecamm world too, it just is broken. But like it'd be kind of the same thing. I'd set up a scene in Ecamm. I'd set up all the different things that I'd want in that scene. I'd turn them on when I want them. I'd turn them off when I don't want them. Got it. Then that has to go through. That is on a separate external monitor. That monitor is going into the ATEM, and then the ATEM is keying that out.
That source. And in my case, because I'm using the Ultra Studio, there is no monitor. It is strictly an output device.
Right.
To OBS.
Okay. But in my world where I don't have a deck link, I have all the other things that you mentioned.
Oh, Robert, you're looking like I'm doing something silly.
You don't need a deck link. You can treat it as you can send the feed from the OBS program output to a HDMI port on that computer and directly into your ATEM.
Yeah, you're short. In my world, I was short one port to do that.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. I think that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Tamara, can I just answer the previous question that you asked about giving you a use case?
Yes, please.
I run this meeting with about 1,000 people, and the chat is like madness. It just you can't keep up. And I used the Zoom graphics toolkit, grabbed the chat, and switched on the moderation tool. Now the chat has a moderation tool where you can choose which chat you want to display, and then send just the ones the person whose meeting it was wanted to display, because I gave him the moderation tool.
Oh, well, that's amazing. Okay, well now
the moderation tool is actually really nice.
Yeah.
This is the moderation tool here. I can go through. I can highlight. I can favorite. I can hide. Show. Yeah, it's really nice.
That's for Q&A as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in using it for, is Q&A.
Right. There's a question manager here. Yep.
Okay.
And the poll manager, obviously. Yeah.
You're piquing my interest.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on with. Maybe I'm I'm chatting with Andy also to see if maybe I'm not on the right Zoom Graphics Toolkit build or something, that because
29 is the latest that I know of.
Yeah, 29. That's what I'm on. He says it's working for him, but maybe it is much more likely that I'm just screwing something up. So we'll try and figure that out.
You have
David?
Q&A turned off right now.
Da-
I was going to put something in there for you.
Yeah,
Say again?
David, I would suggest turning it to all interfaces and try again instead of
what
just
do you mean
using
all?
local host. Right now, you've got it at local host. Do all interfaces and try that instead.
Okay, let's try that. Oh God, what just happened? Something just blinked. Okay, so now let's go over here. I'm gonna grab this, copy. Don't laugh. God, you're always laughing at me. It's like
I'm not laughing at you. We're enjoying the
trying my
moment, Steve.
best. High resolution, keep running, fill entire. You don't really need high resolution, but that's okay. Let's try chat. And okay, so now I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to go here. All right, so now if someone sends a chat, let's see if that comes through. Nope. Let's just see if that's camera A. Wait, so hold on, where's that overlay? Where did I just do it? I don't think the overlay even took. Let me try it again.
Okay.
Oh,
David,
no, I know what happened. No. I know what happened. Hold on. I'm an idiot. I know what happened. I have to copy this and put it in here. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay. All right, now it's in here. So now someone sent a chat message. Let's see if it goes through. See, you should see the old ones, though. That's the problem. Yeah.
David, it's all about layering. So you got to make sure that it is the top of your layer.
No, that I
It's
know.
not hiding. Okay.
No, that I know. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's still coming through. Go back and look at it again, David. Show it back up on your screen. I think it's still thinking. Yeah, it's coming in through localhost. It didn't change anything, Mike.
That's interesting.
127.0.0.1.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
Well, that's because unless he restarts it, it won't recognize that for links that are already established, it won't recognize it.
Well, wait a second. Maybe I had to do this. No, it's still saying localhost. Maybe I need to leave the meeting.
From Zoom Graphics Toolkit, you need to exit and then come back in again.
Yep. All right.
With all interfaces enabled.
Yep. All right. So I'm going to quit this. And okay. And I'll start it again.
I was saying a minute ago that you have your Q&A disabled. I was going to put something in there for you. But when I click on it, it says host has Q&A disabled.
I do? I don't know why I do. Let me see if I can. I'm not sure I can turn that on now. No. Enable Q&A is turned on. Why don't you see it? Why don't I see it?
It says host has turned off Q&A.
That's weird. It looks like Q&A is available. Oh,
yeah,
no,
I'm seeing it too, but again, I'm co-host, so we don't know.
Let me just show. This is okay. So hang tight, everyone. So, because this is helpful information. So I'm going to bring here's my Zoom window. Okay, right here. And ignore that for a moment. When I go down I can see Q&A right here. Right. Go
to the shield.
What do you say? No, I don't have to go to the shield.
Go to the
no,
shield.
I don't have to go to the shield. So when I open it,
I just put a screenshot of what I get on in.
No, I know. Hold on a second. So you're right. It's a little deceiving on my end. So I see Q&A. Here it looks like no open questions. There's no indication to me that it's closed. But if I go up to the gear, you can see participants can submit questions that's not checked.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that was, but so now you should be able to. But my point in showing this was just that was not clear to me at all. There you go.
It's working now.
Yeah. So I'm back to Zoom Graphics Toolkit. I changed network interface to all interfaces, but the web interface is still defaulting to localhost, no matter what. So that is not.
David, can I just can we just try one thing? Can you generate a fresh URL and just put it into a web browser and make sure it's working?
Yes, but how do I generate a fresh URL?
In the Zoom graphics tool. Good.
So, well, first thing, let me join the meeting. Join meeting. Boom. And can you let me in, Mike? Okay, so now I'm in the meeting.
By the way, your little avatar thing there,
Yeah.
it doesn't have any sound every time I've kind of logged in.
You have to turn the volume on your end.
You
There's
have to opt in.
Yeah, you can't auto have the audio on. There's a
How do you
little
do
button
that?
in the button. That's why I have a little bounce, a little arrow that says like press this. It points to the mute button because you can't
Okay.
do it. So this is what I've got. I've got local host. So now I'm in. So I don't know that I can change the URL.
Well, you can manually change it, but that's a different conversation.
And if I click on it, it should bring up, it should see chat. Let me send a chat. Right there. Yeah, it is seeing chat.
Okay, and that's the same URL that you. Now this is a local one, so you're running all of this on one machine, are you?
No, so this is not local. This is, I mean, it's a local network, but it's not the same machine. I'm running it on a different machine.
So
Which may be
that's important.
That's important.
Yeah.
You just said something important. You can't use the local interface. You have to use one of the two 192s.
Okay, so let's try this.
Okay.
So I'm going to copy that. Now I'm going to come back over here. Bear with me for a sec. Oh, shoot. Sorry, wrong button. Okay, so now I'm going to come back here and I'm going to, in my chat, I'm going to change. No. Why did it change to local host?
Yeah. David, I know what's happening is you're copying it from the same machine. You're copying it from one machine, that link, but it's not taking over the IP address. So what you need to do is change where the local host is to that 192.168.72.20, I think is what I saw.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
there it is.
Put that in there / now whatever that other information was, have that after that.
Yeah, but why isn't it updating?
Because you're copying the link from one PC or one Mac to another Mac. And it thinks that you're using it locally within that same
No,
Mac.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Can you save that new configuration, please?
Save the new configuration. Hold on a second.
Yeah, on the disk where you've just changed the URL, there's a save button, bottom right-hand corner.
Right here?
Yep.
Well, I can, but this is the wrong URL.
It's the wrong one, is it? Oh.
Yeah,
it's better.
That's definitely the wrong one. Because I copied the wrong thing. What I need to do is grab this URL right here, but it's not the right one because it's defaulting to local host. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put it in here. Come on, open up. There we go. I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to change that name to just get the
that
right
needs
thing.
the IP now.
Right. So we're going to change this to
192.168.
192.168.72.20. And now this is going to magically work. I can tell. So yeah, see, I already can see it working. So let's go ahead and send a message. I have no, where's my Zoom chat? Oh, it's attached to that. Sorry. There we go. And hi there. Ah, where is it?
David, the
Where
only
is
other thing that might be a problem now is that because you're running it on the other machine, that other Mac might have that firewall port blocked. So that 50/50 port blocked on your firewall within the Mac. Maybe. And again, I'm guessing because I know Windows would do that.
Was he missing a slash there also when he put that in? I didn't see the slash after the
Yeah.
IP address.
Yeah, David,
And-
if I
and
can
port.
just suggest, just copy the URL that you pasted or you typed into.
Yeah, and
I
put it
know
in the
somebody
browser.
that's going to fix everything. Guess who's here? We say his name how many times? 3 times.
I'm sorry, Andy.
Good. You know, we're lucky because they gave us the day off today for Zoomy Appreciation Day, so I actually get to tune in today and see. So that's exciting.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's good. It's
So
good.
this
I
is
want to help you.
So let me
and I wanna
just
help
show. So
Tamara and-
this
yeah.
is the URL
Hold on.
with the 192.168.72.20 in it, and just just in a browser. So it's definitely working.
So hold on a second though. So help me understand just the big picture a little bit. So it sounds like you've got 2 computers on the same network, and
Correct.
you've told Graphics Toolkit that you want to operate on what's essentially the private IP address of the computer where we are seeing right now, where the Zoom Graphics Toolkit is running. Is that correct? So that browser and that what I'm looking at right now is all on the same computer, and the network interface has been set to the private IP.
Correct.
Can you, just out of curiosity, on the computer where Ecamm is running, can you open up Chrome or Safari or whatever and
Sure,
paste
of
that
course.
URL in a browser on that side and confirm
Yep.
that it can get to that computer?
Yep. Can someone just pop a message in the chat for me? Let's see if it comes up. Yeah.
Okay, so they're off to the right there. Okay, great. So then if we take that URL on that computer and we put it into the Ecamm address, let's make sure, does that all match up correctly? Is that
Yep. I literally copied it.
Dot 20. Now,
Yep.
look at your widget. So, okay, so you've got 720p set here. You've got width 1280 and height 720. Have you, I don't know exactly the details of this graphic. Was it set to the same thing as the canvas size?
It should have been.
If it's a default from us, it's going to be 1080p. And then let's hit save.
You think that could be the issue?
And then is that widget armed for this scene?
Yes.
Okay. So then let's send a message. No.
And I am seeing those over. So I have it open also on the other computer. So this is not a Zoom Graphics Toolkit issue, I don't think.
Well, I'm curious. I'm like, and I assume Ecamm doesn't give you like an inspector or something like that to see like browser, errors or things that are tossed on their side.
I mean, I could no.
Can you reload the widget? I'm just curious if it's like it only loads if you right clicked on your canvas there, it had a reload widget option.
But did it?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a button here too.
Yeah. So this is weird. So David, I'm on Ecamm beta, and I'm on version 4.4.13b1. So in theory, it's the same ingredients. What operating system are you on?
I am on
Tahoe.
This should be
26.1. Okay. Well, I'm not. I'm on Sequoia on my work computer. So let me set this up on one of my Tahoe test devices. Maybe Ecamm's got something with the embedded web browser on Tahoe that they need to know about, so I can
real quick, Andy. So in Zoom Graphics Toolkit, the network interface dropdown, you've got all interfaces, local host, And then I see EN0 and EN9.
Yeah, so those are all your network interface, all your network interfaces basically. So localhost is going to be part of the operating system. It's just a local software loopback. So anything, so that browser on that computer can see all the things from this web server running locally on that box. And then you have all your internet
On that
connections
box, meaning on that computer,
on that
nowhere
computer.
else.
So the graphics toolkit runs very, very similarly to BitFocus Companion in this regard. It enumerates all your network adapters, localhost, Wi-Fi, Ethernet 1, maybe you have an Ethernet 2, and all of those from your router have IP addresses associated with them. That's how they identify themselves to your network. And so what you're picking with this dropdown is, hey, where do I want to make these pages available? Do I just want it on this computer? Do I want it available on my network that's connected over here? Do I want it on this other network? In most people's cases, they're going to have three: local host, Wi-Fi, and physical Ethernet port. And the Wi-Fi and the physical Ethernet are probably going to the same network unless you've done something complex. So it kind of doesn't matter. Now, I would probably send everything over hardwired traffic just because I'm me and we're production people, and that's kind of what we do. But for loading a web page, that's actually not as big of a deal as transporting live video. What opening web pages on Wi-Fi is a pretty well-established thing, so to speak. So you shouldn't have trouble
But
with
real
that.
quick,
Yeah.
so to do this in hardware, what you're saying is you would throw this to a screen and then you would bring it in as a video source.
Let's talk about hardware a little bit. So the graphics toolkit creates pages in HTML5. And so you can think of it like a schema, like it's instructions for how to build a web page, right? Just like if you loaded up Wikipedia, there's like instructions that your browser loads up to draw that web page. But what it's not is a video stream, right? It's not a bunch of pixels. It is a responsive web page. You could resize the window, things could react to it, right? It's not that. You take a switcher like the A10 Mini, it wants to see pixels, right? It doesn't have a browser input source like Ecamm or OBS or any of these other tools. So what a lot of people do is they will convert it in some, and there's a variety of different ways to do that conversion. One way is to just take a HDMI out of your laptop, plug it into your ATEM, do what Hosmuk was saying, make it a second screen, full screen the browser, and then maybe you set a chroma green as the background of the graphic and you key it out there. That's one way to do it. Other ways to do it that are a little more advanced would be to use something like a decklink card, which can do what's called key fill. So it has the picture on one of the SDI things, and then it has a black and white picture of the mask on the other one. And then the ATEM knows, okay, I'm going to separate the foreground elements. So what you're really trying to do here is make an overlay, right? You want to see yourself behind the content. Now, if Tamara wanted to see just a full screen graphic, then there would be no need for the chroma green. There'd be no need to key anything. You would just bring it right in, and you wouldn't need to do any of that. But if you're trying to composite, in other words, you're trying to overlay the graphic on top of some other channel, you have to tell your switcher what's my picture and what's not my picture, and that's what chroma key, that's what green screens are, right? That's what all those kind of things are. Yeah. So there's a number of tools that can do the key fill. You can do it with chroma green. If you want to do key fill, you could use Softron on the Air Web Link. You could use Casper CG. There's a whole number of different tools that will do the transparency. And then the last thing, and then I'll get to your question, Tamara, is that there are now a class of video switchers that are actually a little smarter than the ATEM was when it came out, 5-6 years ago when we all bought them during COVID. And they actually can take URLs directly into the switcher and render it right there. So if you look at something, I think like I don't want to get the names wrong, but I think some of the YOLO Live products can do this. I think maybe the OC can do this. They have a browser input, and they're basically using the fact that they're running Linux under the hood, and they have Chromium embedded framework or whatever there, and they can do the pixel conversion on their side on the switcher. ATEMs can't do that. I don't know if the new Rodecaster video can do it. I haven't checked. But some of the newer switchers that are coming out have these directly supported. And that's kind of the industry trend, is that we're moving in this direction of HTML being the method by which we do live production graphics, not pixel buffers, because pixels are hard to deal with. The key fill, all the complexity that is described is like that legacy of working in pixels to do graphics. And the industry is moving in the direction of using HTML and schemas to define graphics. So, it looks nice on your phone, and it looks nice on your switcher, and it looks nice in your browser because it's all responsive. So that's kind of the big picture of what's happening here.
So before we go on over to Tamara, can you just finish with the network interfaces? So localhost is just on this computer.
Yep.
And then I've got all interfaces, and then
Mhm.
I've got EN0, EN9.
Yeah. So if you open
So-
up your settings on your Mac, your network settings,
Yeah.
you'll actually be able to see what these are. So you'll see Apple will show you, it looks like you've got Wi-Fi and you've got a Thunderbolt Ethernet connection.
Yeah.
And if you click on those, it'll show you the IP address. So
Gotcha.
that one that ends in .36 is your Thunderbolt Ethernet adapter, and the
Right.
one I'm assuming that the other one is your Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah. Okay.
And in your case, they probably go to the same place. In a more complex,
So it doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. You're saying,
I mean, I would use 3.6 because it's a wired connection,
right?
instead of 2.0.
And what is so if I click all interfaces though,
It'll
it
put it-
defaults to the local host.
So what's going to happen now is that the app is going to try to use the shortest path to what's running there. But what it should do is it should publish those URLs from anywhere. So you should still be able to hit it on that other computer when you're in all interfaces mode.
So how would I grab that URL?
So
or do
what
I
you-
just
so
have to-
so what you are taking responsibility for doing when you go to all interfaces mode is you have to know the IP address
and
that you
put it
wanna
in there?
connect.
Gotcha.
Because you're basically because now it's unclear, right? Now we don't know what path you want to take because you're saying put
Right.
it everywhere. So you then have to carry the onus of saying this is the path I want to use to get to this computer, and by default we'll use localhost when you're on this computer because we know that that's going to be there.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Tamara, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. You've all intrigued me. I'm excited. So you have intrigued me. I'm going to play with these very difficult things and learn new things. Here's my meeting that is the dumb and simple meeting. It is literally 2 people on stage. Spotlight, spotlight.
It's working.
Yay!
It's working.
I have no
Wait,
idea.
can I tell you what the problem is real quick? Let me tell
Yeah.
you what the problem was real quick. The problem was me. Okay. So
Shocking.
No, oh my God.
I love you, David. It's all good.
No,
It's
I'm
all
kidding.
good.
So for people who are watching, so what I had to do is because it's a separate computer, I set it to the to my wired connection, so the .36, and this is such a simple little thing. It was the 1920 by 1080. I had to go
It's
back
off-
in, and
it's
because
off screen,
it defaulted to 1280 by or whatever 1280 by 720. Once I changed it, it's now it's now up. Yeah.
That's funny. So it was basically that you had a smaller canvas for one thing and a larger canvas for the other. And because this is a right aligned graphic, it's sitting off the edge of the page, and you can't see it. For what it's worth, when I typically test these, I will go to Asset Manager and I'll just load a picture up and put it smack in the middle, and that way I know kind of where it is. So you can use the Asset Manager to load that in. Sorry, Tamara, back to your question.
No, totally. And I'm excited this is working on David's setup because that would be my preferred setup as well.
Excellent.
So here's my thing. I'm going to have 2 people. They're going to be spotlit. I want to be able to have questions come up. Could I not just use my virtual camera as
when you say come up where?
So my thought would be I spotlight person 1, I spotlight person 2, I spotlight me. I'm going to end up in the middle of the bottom.
On
and
Zoom,
then
basically. You want the
on
graphic
Zoom,
to show up on Zoom.
On Zoom.
Yeah. That
And
works.
then I could just feed it through my virtual
Mhm.
camera, and then the questions would go there.
Absolutely.
What do I do to do that?
Well,
Is that
so
what you were?
So what do you have?
I have Ecamm, I have an ATEM, and I have about 4 computers.
If you have Ecamm, it's going to be easiest, I think, because what you're going to do is you're going to take your webcam, put it in Ecamm, then you're going to add what's called, David, a web widget, I think is what Ecamm calls it, and you're going to add that, and it's going to ask you for a URL. You're going to take the URL out of the toolkit, paste it in there, and it's going to automatically just slap it on top of that video.
Okay.
And so the questions will come up, and then you'll have your control page off to the side where you'll pick questions, and they'll slide up and do all that.
Amazing.
Now, the only thing I would caution you about is think about the screen size of your audience. If you have a lot of people on mobile, and you spotlight 3 people, you've kind of chopped up that screen quite a bit.
Right.
And how readable will that question be? Maybe there's something to be said for, when you're reading the question, you're going full screen on you. Let that question kind of air a little bit, and then you go to the 3 up, and you give yourself a little bit more space. Some things like that to think about. Just
for this one, it's a very small. This is why I'm willing to try it, because I feel like this is my lower lower stakes place to play.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's a good thing to think about. I'm hoping there will be no phones in my
And
meeting.
when you get started, keep in mind some of the same things that that David went through on his
Mhm.
end, which if I may just share my screen momentarily. What you're looking for, you have a canvas size down here for the graphic. It's
Right.
set by default to 1920 by 1080. When you go into Ecamm, they default to 720p for their web widgets. So if I look at edit widget, by default, this would be 1280 by 720.
Mhm.
And then I would recommend turn on high resolution mode, turn on keep running, turn on fill entire frame, make your life easier by doing those things. Um, and make sure that whatever width and height that you've defined here matches up so that you
Okay.
get the full resolution, you get the full, experience. You don't have any like weird positional issues.
Great,
So
great.
Tamara, I just actually set this up. So let me
Mhm.
let me show you what I did here. This is as you were talking, I was going through it. All right. So over here in um, Zoom graphics toolkit, I hit new graphic, and then I created this. Let me just do it again. New graphic. I did question highlight is the one that I chose, and so this is question highlight down here. And you're allowed to tell it what you want to look like and all of that, and you can of course go in here and um, change the way it looks and all that other stuff. Then I grabbed this URL right here, making sure that it was using the right, the 192 dot, 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 dot. And then I came over to Ecamm
Mhm.
and I did a web widget right there. Let me pull that one up. Sorry. Oh, I did it in the other scene. Hold on. It's right here. So here's the web widget. You paste the URL in there. This is where you change 1920, 1080, high resolution, keep running, fill entire frame, save. And so now if I go back to my question manager over here, so now I've got the questions here.
Mhm.
And if I click highlight, let me quickly move this overlay that I just did into all scenes so that it works for everything. Hold on, move this up here, and I'll put it right underneath that. Okay, so now it will work over here also. When I click highlight, you'll see it pop up on the bottom. I didn't click it.
Is it?
You'll
Yeah,
see
is
it
it
pop
under?
up on the
Yeah.
bottom of the screen.
Okay.
Let me get out of this. Sorry. Now I didn't, I didn't. It's not big enough. Clearly I need to play with it, but that's how you get it. And then all I'm doing is clicking. What do I want to highlight or unhighlight?
Mhm.
And then it comes up, and you can change where it is on the screen. You can change anything about it.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
And
And so
the
there's two.
resolution I've set is 1920 by 1080.
Yep. And you'll see two buttons there, Tamara, favorite and highlight. Highlight pushes it to the graphic. Favorite is kind of like save for later. It puts it in
Okay.
another column on the other side. So you can be, quickly processing them as they come in, but maybe it's not the right moment to ask the question. You've stashed them over on the side, then you can highlight them and you can kind of march your way through.
Okay. Now one last question for you.
Mhm.
If I'm recording through Zoom, does it record those graphics or do I have to record it out through Ecamm
I
or
mean,
some
if
other
you're
way?
passing it into Zoom as part of your video feed, then yes, it
Mhm.
will be recorded. But the question will be, is that the optimal way that you want to record that? If the current layouts and archival style work that Zoom Cloud Recording does works for you, then yes, it'll be there.
Okay.
Would it be too hard though to just tick the record button in Ecamm so you've got that high quality local copy of just yourself
Right.
with all the graphics in it? Might be a worthwhile exercise.
Okay. Listen, I'm going to record in lots of different places.
Love it. That's usually a good idea. And then use case wise, if you want to just kind of explore the art of the possible, we've put a number of different use cases up on the website, polls, chats, things like that. So there's all sorts of things there to dig into. It's a hard one to really say like this is what you use it for because it's kind of a blank canvas, and
Right.
so it's hard to say exactly what to do, but there are a lot of different types of things. Zoomtopia, we've used it quite a bit there. Hybrid events, we've used it there. Totally virtual things, we've used it there. Heck, we've even had people use it just to create a little dashboard for in-person hosts. The graphic never even goes to air. It's just a TV in front of them that has a multi-view of chat, some selected questions, things like that, and it's just there to make the presenter more comfortable. So
Okay, but that's awesome.
yeah,
I would
all
never
sorts
have
of
thought
different
about
things.
that.
Yeah, there's actually, if you go down that route, by the way, and you're using the latest version, there is something handy I'll show you called the combiner. So as you can see here, all of your graphics are sort of independent of each other. So here I'll make like an emoji fountain, like that, or I need to give it a name. And then I can simulate it and see all that fun stuff, and that's all nice and good. But they're separate. So maybe I want to have my chat scroll and my emojis merged into the same layer. Well, I could do that in Ecamm by just stacking a bunch of web widgets. Or if I wanted to, especially if I was going to go out to like a TV or something and I only had one kind of physical place to put it, I'd create a combiner graphic. And what the combiner does is it lets me just shop from my other layers, and then I'll just do the blank preset here. So I can add up to 5 graphics, and so I have the one called scroll and the one I quickly just called G. And now they're both there, and I have some nice settings for them. Like I can open up the simulation, so I can say, hey, start doing the emojis, and so now I can see this one page, has both
So
of those.
that's what Hasmic is doing through HDR graphics in.
Well, Hasmic, it sounds like you've got some content that's not in the toolkit that you want to merge in. So obviously we can't.
Right.
Well, technically we can. You could do the reverse direction, and you could pull in an iframe from H2R and merge everything on the toolkit side. But if you need H2R, you might as well just do what you're already doing. But we had some customers who were using OBS for the sole purpose of flattening a bunch of their graphics into one thing and putting it on screen. The combiner basically does that for you, so you end up with one URL and you don't have to worry about all that stuff. That's what that's for.
Okay, that's starting to sound exciting too. Thank you so much.
So Andy, in H2R graphics, I just put in the URL for a particular selected graphic, and that's how I overlay it. So H2R graphics pulls the URL as a graphic, and that's what I overlay, and that's how I brought the scroll chats or the polls into the meeting
alongside of all the other things that you have.
Exactly.
Yep, that makes sense.
And not to burden Tamara anymore, there's a particular member in our community. I wish I was a developer or a coder. I know you can use Claude or these things, but I've been fascinated with the kind of graphics that were created with Zoom Graphics Toolkit by a particular individual. Things like a Spotify graphic with a logo of music, audio graphic. And so for my mobile operators, what I want to do is bring in their logo into the chat flow. So as it flows, it kind of looks customized to their brand. So that's something I want to work on as well.
That's cool.
I'm very busy stylizing my new question thing.
Very good. Wonderful. Well, yeah, I hope you play around and have some fun with it. We're always looking to get feedback and try new things. So I'll be using
Is there?
Yeah.
Now forget it. I just need to figure it out. It's all good.
Okay. Well, have a good rest of your kitchen. Good
You're the best.
Thank you
You're
so
the
much,
best.
Andy.
Thanks for being my second favorite cooking show this year.
Oh my God, that was so funny. Did you all see that in the Discord? That was great. That was the YouTube thing, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh, that was fantastic. Yeah.
Have a good weekend.
Have a lovely weekend, Andy. See you soon.
Thanks, Andy.
God, is he amazing. All righty then. Did that kind of answer your questions, Tamara? Did that?
It did. It certainly gave me enough to, when I sit down with everything tomorrow, to kind of just play through everything, that I have couple directions which I kind of understand, so I can.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm not really great on stylizing over in the graphics toolkit, but if you need help just kind of getting it into Ecamm, that I can
Yeah.
help you with. Happy to do that. Yeah, so I just stylized it a little. I just made the text a little bigger. So,
And again, gang, this is where AI, lives. Tell it to
Yeah.
make you some CSS based code that you can just copy out of your favorite AI, ChatGPT, etc. Bring it in, and then play around.
I did start this conversation, and of course, my ChatGPT was very excited to help me. Tamara, this is going to make your event look amazing. So I did. I just literally fed it all the directions. Here's the tools that I have. Please tell me which one. So it started that conversation. But you guys have really helped me kind of clarify the different things. As you know, I'm not in buying mode anymore. I'm in learning how to use what I have. And I do like Ecamm because I can just do it on the fly. And a lot of times I'll be doing something and people will be like, hey, we want to show this. And I'm like, are you flipping kidding me right now? Sure, let me do that for you. So,
Tamara, if I can just add my 2 cents to that.
Please.
If you do decide to use ChatGPT or Claude or whatever to get some code, what I found when I do that is if I don't get what I am expecting, I go back and say, I didn't get what I expected.
Yeah.
This turned out this way. Please correct it.
Yeah.
And it'll correct it so that you actually have that conversation.
My conversations with ChatGPT are often, hey, I need to do this, this, and this. Would you like me to create a checklist? I would. And then I go through it and I'm like, hey, Chat, step 3 does not work the way you said it would. And it goes, oh, that's because you were looking at a newer interface and they're hiding it in this. So I've long conversations with my Chitty Chat about how to get there and tweak and fix. But thank you. It's the thing, Chat. Let's those of us who are not born with those, gifted with those skills or training, to pretend our way through.
Skills you have, Tamara, they're just other skills.
If you can figure out the right like toggles to toggle and buttons to press, boy, my quality really is pretty crummy today, isn't it?
It's coming out very nice, David.
Oh, is it? Good. Okay.
I can see you very nicely.
Sorry, it's just on my screen. If you can figure out all the little doohickeys and toggles, then you don't need the CSS. But it's definitely
it's a bit of an unguided journey.
Right.
Yeah. I agree. Like I would love to know how to drag the avatar down, the vertical anchor, but that's right, with border, shadow, text styling. In any case.
Sorry, which avatar are you referring to?
This right here, in front of your name. Oh, I'm not showing this to you. I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, I am. But I've got the thingy dingy in the way. You can't see. Oh, no, you can't see it. The one right there next to your name.
Just the RS next to my name. Okay.
Like I'm also wondering why is your avatar pic not there? Is there a reason? Like, are you in this meeting logged in?
Sure I am. But do I have a picture? I don't know.
I'm wondering why we're not seeing. Oh, you don't have a no. That's because you don't have a picture.
I don't think I have a picture. You need to choose someone else.
Hey, Peter, can you put a question in the question manager?
Yep, certainly can.
Or maybe Tamara. Does Tamara have one? No, Tamara doesn't have one either. Fred doesn't have one either.
Why did you do that?
Nobody has a picture. What is
I
going
don't
on
think
here?
it shows.
It doesn't
graphics
show the
because
pic.
this
It
is
doesn't show the pictures for the avatar.
It doesn't show the picture.
Okay.
Oh.
because this is exactly what Andy was talking about. This is not doesn't do anything
Right.
at the pixel level.
So having said that, then I mean that does why would I? There's no reason to even show that. That's
Yeah,
just
but just a minute. I thought I saw them in the chat when you displayed that a second ago.
no. They're in the chat. They're in the chat, but they're not in the questions. Maybe.
No.
I'm looking in the Q&A, David, for us co-host wise. I can see Fred's picture.
No, but not in Zoom, not in the Zoom graphics toolkit.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Right,
But
so
I am
none
seeing
over
Fred's
here.
picture in the actual Q&A in the workplace app.
Yeah, yeah. So, but that, so what I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna I want to show the
But
screen,
if you
but there's
just
no.
show the chat, David, I can see them in the chat when you look. I've just looked back on.
Yeah,
on
let me bring the
YouTube.
chat back up. Give me a second. There's the chat. Yeah, you can see them in the chat. But
Interesting.
for some reason, you can't see them over here in.
I
unless
wonder if
I'm
there's something checked.
maybe maybe there's some setup that I didn't do right.
Look at the chat
that's
one
in-
and see if we see anything that is.
Yeah. Yeah, because the pictures are coming up there, David, in that graphic that you're showing.
Let's see. Chat messages is visible.
not-
True.
Yeah, that
Display name times avatar. True. No, it's literally the same interface
Uh-huh.
as.
it's not the same setting though. The question doesn't have avatars. True.
No, it does.
down.
Yeah, it does.
That's
Yep.
the display name. Go down.
No, so this is the chat scroll. The avatar is visible. True.
Yep.
And
Go to
then
your
same thing. And then when I go in for the question,
Yeah, avatar's not.
no, but that's because I turned
Oh.
it off. See, when I turn it on, you don't get the real avatar. You just get the PS.
Interesting.
Maybe if we do that now, if we send a new question, it'll come up.
No, they're all coming up the same way.
Oh,
They're all
after you
coming
turned
up.
it on, David.
No, it was on before.
Okay.
Let me I'm gonna try and
It's interesting that new one. When I retyped my name, I put AZ as uppercase, but it's showing lowercase in the graphic. The Z.
oh really? Question highlight. So I'm creating a new one. See, there are all these different styles, but none of them.
Yeah. While David's doing that, Fred, is it a lower Z in your actual profile?
I'd have to go look, but I don't think maybe it came up that way. I don't know.
Because again, it could be depending on where Graphic Toolkit is grabbing the information from. If it's actually looking at you because you just renamed it within the meeting, or is it looking at the name as you came in? Because as you
Right.
came in, it was a lower Z, lower Z.
So maybe that's the way I had taped it in my profile. I'll go check that.
I really need
When
to
you were
create buttons so I can.
When
turn
you were
these on and off
creating
now.
those, but there was like a 3 dots next to them. Did you click on those to see if maybe it's hidden in there?
When I was creating these.
When you were creating, when you were going, you were 2 screens back.
Yep. Like new
It
graphic.
create a new one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you had all those choices, and see how they have
Yep.
3 dots. Is there somewhere in there that is?
No.
No, okay.
Just refresh. There's a refresh thumbnail, which is interesting.
Because it's so weird.
not-
It feels like. Go back to. Let's create a new chat scroll just so we can see what that looks like.
Okay. Graphic, chat scroll. Boom.
And does it have? That's so interesting. Like, why is it? It's the side panel ones look different than the full responsive ones. So I'm wondering if there's something in that style guide that is.
Yeah. I don't know. Even in the manager, you don't see them.
Right. I think even when you looked at the new chat highlight ones, there was like one that didn't show the faces and one that did. So there has to be something in whatever that style setup is that is like a line item somewhere that says what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is though. I'll give it to Chet. Give my friend.
Okay then.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have to now create 2 buttons because otherwise it's going to drive me crazy that I can't turn these off. Chat and question. Okay. So now I should be able to toggle that. Yeah. And toggle that. Great.
Hey, David,
Alrighty then.
where are you toggling them? What 2 buttons?
Yeah, what
Sorry,
did you just do?
I just made little Stream Deck buttons.
So you made a Stream Deck button with it on and with it off? Is that?
No. So
What did you
with Ecamm, what
Mhm.
you do is you grab it's called Show Hide Overlay.
Okay.
It's a toggle button. You drag that on, and then you just choose what overlay you want to control. And so
Amazing.
here I've got the chat overlay, and here my question highlight overlay. And so if I do chat and then I press that, it will toggle the chat on or off.
All right. Well, that was worth the price of admission for me. I learned something new. Thank you,
Because
sir.
otherwise I'm searching for that silly little overlay and trying to toggle it on or off.
Amazing.
So, wow. You know, more than the chat, because the thing, I don't use this for chat much because I can't right now because I'm not using Ecamm, but I can grab chat myself and bring it in via Ecamm natively, both from Zoom and from YouTube or anywhere else. So the chat feature isn't as important to me, but this highlighting of a question along the bottom is really, really nice. I mean, I could technically do that also on Ecamm, but if you're not using Ecamm, this is a really nice solution.
Well, and the thing is, you
here.
can't use Ecamm to like in the meeting. It's only great if you're recording outside of the meeting because otherwise there's a delay. And so in a regular meeting, it's problematic.
I use it every day in every meeting. You can't bring guests from the Zoom
right
into Ecamm and then throw them back into the same meeting. But if you're just doing chat or anything like that, then you can can use it all from here to wherever.
So, Mike, it is uppercase in my profile. I just put a copy of it in the chat. So I don't know why it's coming up lowercase.
Interesting.
So wait, explain again. Where did it pull it lowercase?
When you were doing that overlay thing, it said my name. It said
look at that.
and the Z is lowercase. But in my profile, both A and Z are uppercase.
Not only that, but over here on the question, what do you call it? It's hard to see because it's so small.
On the
But
Q&A, see how it's lowercase there?
no, on here it's look, it's big.
Yeah,
right.
see,
So
that's correct.
Yeah. So in the overlay, it's making it small. I wonder if there's got to be a setting for that. Like maybe let's see if that's a setting back here. Backdrop, message content. I don't see anything except for family font system UI. I wonder if maybe there's something there. I don't know. That's interesting, right? That in the settings, yeah, it's correct, but then it's somehow coming over as wrong.
It's almost as if, David, they're forcing, they know that they should alphabetize the first, like the beginning of the word, and then make sure that they hard code everything smaller.
Yeah.
But that's in behind the scenes.
Right.
If that's the case, Fred, can you just change the D on your surname to a small d for a second and let's see what happens?
You want me to do that in my profile?
Just in your name here in Zoom.
Stand by. Rename. Backspace D. There you go.
And it's changed online in the Q&A in Zoom. Can you redisplay it, please, David?
Yeah. Give me a moment here.
think he needs to jump over to mine or someone else's and then come back.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
He
David.
may have to. He may have to put a new question.
I may
in.
have to put a new question. Where's the Q&A?
Yeah.
Q&A, here you go. Hi. Send. There you go.
Yep. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Look at that. So again, on my end on the back, it's a small d, which sorry, you can't see because I have it covered, but it's a small d on the back end, but then it's pushing out a capital D.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
gotta be a
again, that's
coding thing.
yeah. So that's definitely built in the back end.
Huh.
So
That's fascinating. But what
There is an
Okay, but-
option to capitalize words, and that looks like what it's doing. So it's capitalizing the names.
where where would
There's a
that be?
function. There's a function to capitalize names. It might not be in your control from your menu to change it.
Oh, okay.
So, John, just go a little further. That's could be something that is in the back end that Andy and the gang are doing, correct?
Yeah, yeah. They could be creating a default way to create the names, and you can capitalize everything. You can make it all lowercase. You can make it all uppercase, or you can capitalize so it makes the first letter of every perceived word, which is where there's a space, capital
But
letter, and everything else lowercase.
I'm so confused. Yeah.
And it could be happening at the Zoom level, not even the graphic toolkit level, because
So
look at
it's-
the team chat. The team chat is capitalized to a degree.
I wonder if it's interestingly, I wonder if it's doing this intentionally to make it look more professional.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it's doing.
Yeah. If someone forgets to capitalize their name, it takes care of it for them.
It definitely looks nice and neat and tidy.
I agree. Yeah. That's fascinating.
Can you imagine what it does with a name with a two-letter word between the first name and the second name, or if the first name starts with a DE something?
Oh, right.
It's going to get really
lowercase
messy.
de and like
Yeah,
D'Angelo.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I wonder if it's smart enough to. Huh. I have lost my mouse. Keeps dying on me. This is the brand new MX4, and I keep losing it, and I don't know why. It's really frustrating.
Is it wireless?
Yeah.
Batteries.
No, it's not batteries. It loses connection to it. I have this convoluted setup. It's my fault.
Robert, is that what you were talking about? You see what I renamed myself to?
I'll put it up. Hold on a second.
Did you put a question in?
I don't know if I can as I can't
I've
change
changed-
co-host though.
There's Robert Disababity.
Yeah, and it's capitalized the D.
Correct. And on the
Mhm.
back end, it hasn't, but in the front, it did. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what it's doing. Okay.
And officially that's that.
Yeah. Hey, Hasmuk.
Yeah, I'm going to say something that may take us away from Zoom graphics tool and throw us into Zoom OSC. If that's
Perfectly
okay with
wonderful.
everybody. Still Zoom Test Kitchen. Yeah, one of the folks in the community, I asked if I can have a tool that allows me to display number of participants in a meeting. So in this event, I have about 400 people joining. So I thought it would be a fun thing to overlay into the meeting, and as people join, especially the talent. And talent is always asking us, how many people have joined? How many people have joined? And so I thought, okay, this way. So just to give people a heads up, there's something on GitHub that one of the communities created a bit of coding, and you can use Zoom with Zoom OSC it worked very neatly. So I used it this week and put that graphic into the meeting. Yeah, I must say they were very excited by that approach.
That's fantastic. That's wonderful. Now see, my mouse just like died again.
Hasma, can I just ask you a question? Did you use the feedback in OSC to pull that back from the meeting?
Yeah. So there's on GitHub there's the entire code and I think it's forget the coding language. But you obviously join the meeting with Zoom OSC and the code runs, and it pulls that into a browser page. So the browser page then populates and keeps rolling. And so whatever the Zoom participant number is, it dynamically updates this URL.
Sounds good. Sounds interesting. Thank you.
Hey, Hasmik, do you have a link for that you can put in the chat?
Yeah, let me find it for you. I'll do that.
Hasmuff, is that it?
I mean, from me, can I go to bed now? Is that it?
No. No, I think I found the GitHub. Is that the one? Is that the?
Where are you?
I put it in chat, our chat, before I'll give it to the YouTube audience.
GitHub. I'm not sure if it's the same. It may be the same, but it. Let me find my link, Mike, and then I'll see if it's the same.
Yeah, of course. That was the Google verse that gave me that one. So you never know, there might be multiples out there. This one does seem to be quite old though, so I'm not sure if it's entirely up to date or not.
And Mike, I just looked at it. It looks like that puts it into a spreadsheet. Just the times that they participated. It's more of a if you participated or not, rather than a how many people are there.
Got it. Okay. All right. I'll keep looking. Hasmik, up to you.
It's in chat.
What else are we working on, thinking about, having fun with?
I have a question for you, David.
Uh-oh.
Can you recommend?
I'm sorry, it may be the wrong one. Sorry about that.
Can you recommend, while Hasmik's looking for the link, a community like the Zoom Test Kitchen that plays with Ecamm?
Oh yeah. I mean, the Facebook community is. You mean like a meeting?
Yeah, just like Zoom Test Kitchen now that we're playing.
Yeah. So there are a few of them. They have something called office hours. Let me look up their shows. So they have. What do I guess? Join the community.
I put up the correct one.
Hey Andy, do you know? Here we go. I found it. Sorry. So if you go to ecamm.com/community, there are a couple things here. It's not all listed, but Tech Talks. So every month they have a gathering. Is that every month or is that every week? I guess.
I think it's once a month.
Is it? They're adding stuff all the time though. Every month there's an eCamp for educators where we get together with educators and we bang on eCamp and learn how to use it. What else is there, Andy, that I'm missing?
You and me, David, we are more than happy to hang out and help Robert learn.
Yeah, I did get your message, Andy. I do appreciate it. And like I said, I've watched about 20 videos by a girl called Diana on YouTube from Ecamm. And I have I haven't watched someone who is so articulate, precise, and on the spot, on the dot, every time she says something for a long time. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Deanna Gladly.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are other amazing, Alec is an amazing teacher. Daniel Chi is an unbelievable teacher. And they all know the ins and the outs and the everythings. But as far as a like a Zoom session, they do have a couple. I'm having trouble finding them
I've
right
seen
now.
the Zoom sessions, but that they do with all the Zoom integration, if that's what you're referring to. But it's all focused on your type of setup. In other words, what you're doing at the moment. In other words, you're the host. It's as if it's David focused on Ecamm, and I'm looking at using Ecamm to produce something for other people, and that's my mindset is slightly different.
Yeah. I think that there are three types of users in Ecamm. And Andy, please, I'll jump in here. But my gut is that there are three types of users. There's people who are live streaming, which is really what I think it was built for, where it's just them and they're just sending it out to YouTube or Facebook or wherever. There's people who are using it with Zoom, which is me. And then there are people that are using it and me a little bit, for production. Like Daniel Chi, he uses it for production. He's sort of the expert in that, I think. And uses a ton of other tools also. Is that a safe summary?
Yeah, I think that's pretty safe. I think, yeah, there's probably people who are using it for live streaming again, which is probably where its origins were. And then because they wanted to have some way to bring remote guests in, they did their interview mode. And then when they integrated with Zoom, they use that too. So.
Okay.
But you're right. You're right, Robert, that there isn't a group that is focused primarily on production. You're right about that.
Well, I think we've just found the group. It's called the David Andy Group. So I will grab hold of you guys. Thank you very much.
Sure, absolutely.
I like
You're
that
right.
group.
Andy, do you use Ecamm for production? I know you. I don't think you use it in your church, do you?
We don't in the church because we're using an ATEM straight up, but I do it a lot of my other productions, and I've been doing some webinar productions and stuff with it.
Oh, nice. That's great.
David, there is a question from YouTube, but if we're ready to move on, it's a different topic.
No, go for it. Whatever you want to do. Yeah.
All righty. There's a question related to production studio, which I think John and I will be able to answer without too much difficulty. Is the published limit of 5 videos inside of production studio? Actually, Robert will be able to help too. Is the published limit of 5 videos inside of production studio a hard limit? Last October, my Humanity Day event ran for 6 hours, with each hour being partly pre-recorded and partly live. It was a big success, and the feature of playing videos zoomed directly was also brilliant. So the limitation of 5 videos. John, shall you go first?
It is a hard limit, but it is a hard limit that has been determined by Zoom to be the limit they want to have at the moment. And I know, because Josh said so, that they are considering increasing it. I'm assuming that because it's a new tool, they don't really want to give us really, enormous limits. They want to try and keep it under control. So they set it to 5 originally, and that's what it is at the moment. But we know that they are thinking that the production studio is working well. It's much more powerful in the cloud. Running locally, it would have been a bigger issue, but running the cloud, I get the feeling they'll be increasing that limit soon, but we have no control.
Right. And John, we've done some of our own experiments on the 5 limit, correct?
I think I've only used 3 or 4 so far.
maybe we've got up to the 5 limit, but our issue, of course, is that we've got quite short videos,
Right.
and the limit is hour plus. So
Yeah.
we're pushing the numbers limit, but we're not pushing the size limit. So I have to see how they redefine it in the future. But yeah, at the moment it's 5 separate videos. So the only option you have if you want to cheat the system slightly would be if you had multiple videos as one, and then you went in and hit the pause button and then got it to resume. That would be one way around it for today.
Right. Yeah. So putting enough black in the actual video so that you could actually stop it in time and then do a manual cut in production studio from the video, and then go back to it. And when you go back to that video, it'll look like it's a new video. Correct. Yeah. So that is cheating the system a little bit. And there was a good comment as well. He said that a person can fake extend that by using an RTMP feed. Yes, correct. Again, if you brought in your own additional video feed or video participant, of course, Zoom Production Studio, it classifies that as a source. So absolutely. Cool. Yeah, so that's right. Yeah. So basically what John is saying, and again, I'm just replying back to him because he's replying back to us live. Yeah. So pause, then resume. Nifty. Yeah, correct. But again, be creative and make sure that you give yourself enough black in between each video within that one big video that you can be able to stop it in time, or the person that's actually has to stop it in time to be able to cut away from there to go to you back to the next scene, aka template that you made in production studios, so you could actually run that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Put a number of seconds gap between the videos so you've got time to hit the pause button. And I have to mention it because every time we talk about running videos, somebody asks this. Only you in production studio can see the slider for starting and stopping and moving the videos. Everybody out there, the great unwashed watching the audience, never see the slider. They only see the video.
Even though it looks like it's in the program window in the production studio interface, it does not show. Yes, that was my problem in the beginning too. So I feel for everybody that goes, is it showing? It's not showing.
Can I just quickly post something in chat? Someone in Discord sent me a message about that Zoom Graphics toolkit and the name and the manner in which removes uppercase.
Oh, okay. Absolutely, Hesma. David, I think we got something to test here.
Oh God, wait.
There we go. There's the HTML fix. Hesma, good job.
Okay, the issue with the title in Zoom Graphics Toolkit is this line in the HTML. Remove title case and it should fix that issue they were seeing. Oh man, this is going to be dangerous. All right,
No,
wait a second.
it's not dangerous. This is an HTML CSS tag that is in the default templates.
Hold on, calm down. You're stressing me out with all your fancy words. Hold on. All right, so I go in here now. HTML CSS. All right.
Yeah, well, we're going to handhold you, David. David, we're going to hold your hand. We're good.
Just wait a second.
We're good.
All right, span class sender display name. All right, so then we go down here to CSS styling, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And
actually,
nice if,
no, that actually is that should be in the
HTML template.
It should be in the HTML template. Yeah.
Okay.
Span
sender
class.
display name. Here we go.
Yeah.
Span.
So there
class
you go. So,
equals sender display name.
Yeah.
Wait
So they're
title,
telling you to
sender name. Wait a second. I'm reading. So sender's display to sender name. Huh. So just get rid of the title case. It's saying.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it should actually. There you go. It just did it already live.
Check that out. Look at that. That's kind of cool. So now what that means is Now, what that means is if someone puts in, let me, oh, for God's sakes, my mouse again. Sorry. So now what that means is if I go into the question manager and I choose someone who just forgets to, yeah.
Yep.
So now if someone forgets to capitalize their name, it won't fix it for you.
So what did you do?
There you
Sorry,
go.
I stepped out to go to the restroom.
You have got to be kidding me. You think I could replete that? Okay, no. I can do this. Ready? Okay, so under question, under HTML, CSS graphics, in the HTML templates, you just scroll down to where it says the sender's display name. And before this, it said title case. Was there something after that? Yeah, there was.
Space.
It said
Space.
title case, just space, right? So you can see when I have title case dot space in here, your name comes out with a capital D. As soon as I delete that, it shows it as you had it typed in.
The power of HTML.
Yes.
Yep.
Live.
Yeah, that was actually kind of a cool live demo. That was nice. I'm feeling pretty proud of this.
Good catch.
I never pressed this button, the HTML. Like I just don't press that at all. That's great though. That's really Asmak, who gave us that?
I have friends in the deep echelons of Zoom, so
AKA the Zoom Test Kitchen community channels on Discord.
Oh, that was in Discord? Oh, I missed it. Okay.
No. It's in somebody that I've been talking about Zoom graphics toolkit. He's obviously listening to us in YouTube, so
That's
they
great.
sent me a DM to post it into in this meeting.
That's fantastic. That was a great little fix. Mr. Mike, you are now president of the team. And Robert, how you doing?
Oh, Robert's just clapping. I don't know if Robert was putting up his hand or clapping. Go ahead,
I
Robert.
was just clapping. It's just David was great job.
I'm
very
sorry.
impressed
I thought
by your.
that
I'm
was a
very
hand up.
impressed by your programming skills.
Oh, you're very
and I was
skills.
I was very tempted to say just press Control F, find it, insert it, find it, and change it.
You can do Control F. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Good call.
Do you think I need to ask for a hat to be sent to him?
No, yeah, exactly. That's what I need.
You could get one of those on the shop Zoom website. Okay.
Oh, can you really?
Have a embroidered yarmulke.
Yeah, Zoom developers yarmulke, exactly. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm handing this party over to you. I gotta jump. Have a lovely rest of the day, guys.
See you,
Take
David.
care.
Thank you for everything.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
And
I'm
thank you,
going to.
Tamara,
Good
for
night,
the
guys.
Well, that's
Yep.
great.
Sleep
great
well.
question.
Take care, husband. And Tulloch is watching us on YouTube. Hello, Tulloch. Late again. Yes, it's okay. As they say, it's glad that you can make it anyways. Better late than never, or as they say. So anybody from YouTube, if you have any questions for us, by all means, let us know in chat, and we will see what else we can break today or unbreak today, or, play with HTML things today or CSS or how to
Hey,
tell
Mike.
it. Yes, sir, Tony. Go for it.
I just wanted to share with the community. Things on Sunday did not go well, but what I want to say is I want to thank this community for their advice, their encouragement, and the things that they shared in preparation for what we tried to do on Sunday. As I said, for me personally, it was a fail, but it was also a learning experience. And again, I can't thank this community enough. Between this community and the office hours community, I asked a lot of great questions, gleaned a lot of great information, and I'm thankful that you guys were available to support me in that conversation that I had.
anytime.
And I'm talking to myself, I swear. Okay, so
You
Peter was
are.
saying,
You were. I was
Yeah.
trying to figure out.
I was like, why am I nobody's saying anything? And I was like, everybody's being very quiet today. I already know that. Yeah, but no, I'm going to show this off, Pete, because that's cool. Because as I'm talking, you can see that you could also bring in closed captionings through
Yes.
Graphic Toolkit.
Yeah, and I'm using the technique I said earlier, which is via OBS green screen to my ATEM and then keying it in.
And again, of course, you have the choice of how big. And then again, of course, you see that our pictures are coming in. So that's nice.
Mhm.
And of course, you have the choice of how big the font and such.
Oh yeah, I have. I mean, it's Zoom Graphics Toolkit doing its thing. It's just I'm using the OBS as the intermediary, if you will, uh, to render the web page, and then give me something I can key out.
Ah, yes.
And
And
because you know what's interesting is Andy earlier mentioned using the deck link, and yes, if you have a deck link card, you can do it can stream both the keying and the mask at the same time, right? But if you use the but it takes two inputs on the ATEM. But if you just use the Ultra Studio monitor, which is what I'm doing, I'm just green screen building the green screen in OBS and then letting the ATEM on one input key it out.
right. Right. And Talak is actually reminding us too that because we've enabled closed captioning to be burnt in via YouTube, of course, now the YouTube is layering on top of Pete's
Yes.
closed
Yes.
captioning right now. On
So
so
here I can, yeah, we could do that. There. Turn it off.
and it's gone. Cool.
But like like we were talking about earlier, and I'm sure you can do the same with Ecamm, is now you have with OBS or Ecamm being the compositor, you can assign companion buttons to do things that there's no way to do that if you're just using straight up Sim Graphics Toolkit. Because as far as I know, Mike, unless you know different, there's no interface between companion and Zoom Graphics Toolkit yet. There's Zoom
No.
OSC, there's Zoom ISO. That's it.
Right. Yeah. My understanding is that again, as you know, Justin is the one maintainer of the Zoom OSC, Zoom ISO when it comes to the BitFocus companion module. And as far as I understand, as of yet, Andy and the team have not discussed with Justin how he could actually implement that into the actual companion module as of yet. Justin, if you are watching us and you have more of up to date info with that, by all means, let us know. But as far as my understanding right now is that that is not there yet. But again, if you have a capability within companion to figure out what it is to enable that and disable that as a shortcut, in theory, you can send shortcuts via companion, because that is what I'm doing right now to enable and disable my camera, enable and disable mute, because I'm actually using the Zoom Workplace app global shortcuts. And I'm actually calling that. Now, if there's a global shortcut, which I don't know, that the graphic
I have not
toolkit
seen
actually
any.
has.
I haven't seen that. And I haven't seen that. Let's put it this way.
Right. Yeah, I'm just curious on actually, let me see if I could actually fire it up locally here too. I think I've got graphics toolkit aligned with my account to see if there is an actual way to interface it. Because in theory, companion should be able to, because of the fact that we should be able to push it to the IP and port. Now we just have to figure out what the graphic toolkit has as an API
Well, what
of
you're really
enabling and
asking
disabling.
you're really asking the question, can it receive?
Right.
It's transmitting on port 5050, but I haven't seen a place where you configure a receive port.
Well,
And
and
John is
chances
shaking.
are, chances are it should be the same port. Like you wouldn't necessarily need a different port.
It's
But
not
again, the
same.
web server has to be the web server, which is basically what it is running, has to be
Yeah.
smart to understand that. Oh, okay, I might get commands sent to me too on the same port, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's just
possible. It'd be contrary to what they did for Zoom ISO and Zoom OSC. They are receive and send ports are very separate.
right. Yeah. And again, I'm being a little quiet. Sorry, I was just looking to see if I could actually find in any of the documentation that is currently available to see if there is a way to have it, if it actually has some sort of API server sitting there waiting to, per se. It may not. Yeah, I'm not seeing it right now, but that doesn't mean that it's not there or there are no plans for it. There might be plans for it. And that very well could be why Justin's not involved as of yet, because if Justin can't call from the companion app to something for it to trigger, then it won't be able to. Right. So that would be the easy official answer to that, is that if there is no API server sitting on 5050, which I think was just the default port there. Yeah, default port right now is 5050. In theory, the web server could be a listener as well as a sender. It's just a matter of making sure that the part in there that is listening, and then you need to have the variables, right? That I believe is equivalent to when Hasmuk was talking about H2R graphics. I think that's the way that John has got it set up in his code base, is that you could actually do a call to it from companion, because that's how I think he made his companion work. His companion module. I haven't used it in a while, so that was a bit of a guess, but I'm thinking that again, you could have like a 5050 and a 5051 as an example, where the 5051 would be a listening port, where 5050 would be the port where you actually pull down the actual HTML graphics. But I'm not seeing anything currently in any of the docs that I saw. All right, cool. All right, what did I notice this week of interest that would be interesting to have everybody notice? All right. While I wait for anybody on YouTube to actually give us an actual question, Pete, do you have another question for us?
No. Hadn't really thought of anything. I mean, like I said, I've been just playing with stuff.
Yeah. Did anybody notice? Okay, let me go down this little bit of rabbit hole, and it was hit and miss for me seeing this, and we officially are seeing it today. Did anybody notice that there's a new? Well, again, if you're one of our panelists, you'll notice it. John mentioned it earlier in chat, but we didn't really actually talk about it yet on the show. Is that there's a new icon beside the check mark at the top? If you actually notice this week, and I don't know when that got implemented or not. John and I are still trying to figure that part out, but it magically showed up in a meeting that he was in this week, and it is actually showing up today because we have multiple people that have connected to our meeting that are actually using Zoom apps. It's now a new icon, and I'm
The
trying
apps
to.
that access meeting content.
Yeah. Have you seen that before, Pete?
Only this week.
Only this week. John and I agree with you. John and I agree with you. We did usually that was under the check mark. Usually that was in the green shield. But for whatever reason, this week that information is now moved to its own dedicated icon, I guess, for lack of better terminology. John, what would you classify that icon as? I don't know. Have we heard any more since we've been talking about it?
Well, the thing that brought it to my attention was that we had a red button or a red dot on top of the actual icon. And so my question was, why is there a red dot on this particular app icon? And that's what I don't have an answer to as yet.
Yeah, because it's not like, I mean, because right now it's not red.
No, but I have a suspicion that it's got to do with the data that the apps have requested, and there must be some level at where the information that's being requested then turns that into a red dot.
Well, let's see. I mean,
and I have a feeling it's going to be around the concept of personal information. But what I'll have to do is I'll have to create some apps and put some features in and take some features out and see if I can get the dot to go.
Okay, so it's probably nothing that Zoom Graphics Toolkit can request then.
Well, it is in a way, because every app that's used on Zoom has to be processed through the Zoom Marketplace.
Right.
And the app has to tell Zoom Marketplace what function calls it's going to want access to.
No, I understand that. I was implying that, at least with my and granted, I'm a hacker in this case. I don't think anything that I can request through Zoom Toolkit as distributed asks for PII data.
That's right. But I'm wondering if maybe if you ask for user data, then you get the little red box. But that would be my suspicion, because then you're asking for personal data.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I've asked the Zoom developers, and of course the Zoom developers haven't been told, so they don't know either. So they're looking into it.
Yeah,
but this
John,
is typical of this monolith of Zoom. It's got so many departments that one department will implement some feature, but nobody else will know about it until they see it and they query it.
So the only reason I noticed it earlier this week was I didn't notice it first. One of the kids I work with in Scouts, we were recording something and he said, "What is this new symbol?"
It's very neat, because if you click on it and then you see the apps that have been enabled in your world, shall we say, to take a non-technical term, if you then click on one of the items, it will take you to the marketplace so you can see the app. So from a security and making things obvious to users' point of view, I think it's a really good feature. But what I don't know is what happens when the little red dot happens against it.
I think it's a double-edged sword. I mean, it's a good feature, but it can also generate sidebar conversation when you really don't want it.
True. Again, that's Zoom sneaking it in the last, was it in the patch on Monday? Was it there maybe on Friday and wasn't enabled on the system?
I think it's been around for a while,
yeah,
but I've never seen it with a red dot. So I think they've enhanced it.
Okay. Here's another thing that I find interesting too about that, John, is that I also made you co-host, and I'm noticing it now that I'm host, that right now currently Peter, which is fine, is currently is connected to us in the back end using Graphic Toolkit. And I actually up there, which I did not have before in the checkbox, have a remove button. So I could actually remove Peter's Graphic Toolkit connection app if I wanted to or not. Can you see that as co-host, John?
As co-host, I cannot see that. No.
Okay. But that is a feature.
To me, that would make perfect logic. There are too many people made co-host. You make co-host for lots of reasons. So I would agree that limiting that to host would be a good idea. But it's also neat because it means you've now got a way to kick people out of apps.
Yeah. Again,
have
if
to have a
they're
word with my
if they're
developer
apps that
chums.
you don't want authorized, like if all of a sudden, in a perfect example today in a meeting that I was in just before I joined us here today in Zoom Test Kitchen, there was a otter.ai bot that came into the meeting because they wanted to make sure that it was recording the information in the meeting. And I'm going to myself, okay, this is where, the custom domain names now have to come into play, that you should be blocking otter.ai if you don't want otter.ai to be allowed in your meetings. That's one topic. And then there's the other scenario now that as a host, I guess I can now, and again, of course, I was not host of that meeting that I was in, but now that I'm seeing that I could do it to Peter's app, I could have gone in, it being an app, unless it came in as a participant and not as an app. And that's another thing too, is if it truly came in as an app, I should be able to remove it from that new icon. But if it came in as a participant, not as an app, then that's a totally different ballgame now. John, correct?
Yes. Well, I'm being careful not to say anything at this point because we could go into an enormous rabbit hole here. But
right.
the fact is, Zoom is obviously looking at this. They've taken feedback from us about these things, and they've started to implement some quite neat tools. So I like that because yes, you traditionally, shall we say, or usually, when you're using apps for yourself, you have to go into the account and you have to enable them, and then you have the power to use those apps, and that is fine. But this issue with these screen readers and these Otter.ai's and others are available, and some of them are more annoying than others. When these are coming into the meeting and you as the host haven't given permission for those, I do like the fact that we are now getting the options to say, no, I don't want these. I'm going to kick them out again, or I'm going to disable them, or I'm going to turn them off.
They're getting sick and tired of people like me saying, reporting them and saying, kicking them out, and reporting them at the same time?
It's because of the way apps work. It's not an easy thing to just say ban, unfortunately, because the app world is just so clever. There are so many different ways you can create an app that there isn't one simple switch to say ban all apps. As Mike said, you can create an app which comes in like a user.
Yeah.
And therefore, to understand how to ban those would be much more difficult because people have created apps which are effectively another Zoom client. So as far as we're concerned, it's just a Zoom user that's appeared, but that Zoom client could have a completely different interface and options and controls on their screen. But we would never know that because it's talking to Zoom in the same way as our browser version of Zoom would talk to Zoom or our app version of Zoom would talk to Zoom. So it is unfortunately not as easy as just ban them, but they are looking at that and they are moving that direction. And I love this first step they've done. Thank you, Zoom engineers, for doing this. This is good.
Yeah, that was impressive because I wanted to take a look once I was host. I saw what it was when I was co-host, and I saw that I saw when David was connected. I saw when Peter was connected with their apps, and I saw when Tiles was connected when David was also connecting via that user as coming into Tiles. So again, all three of those were in that under that new icon in the list of, and again, it gave me individually the user account information too that was connecting. Like Peter Sargent dash SGFX was the account person that is actually, even though he's logged in, he's also using an app in this case.
Yeah. And I do that because I don't know if it's a feature or a bug, but I can log in to all the Zoom apps on different machines with the same account. And if I'm not careful, I have to stare at the list when I sign into Zoom. If I sign into a Zoom session with all three of them, as an example, Zoom ISO, Zoom graphics, who's on first? So I always put something on the end of my utility machines.
Right. To make sure that what users are logging in as you. Yeah.
Yeah, this is me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And again, I've also done that too. I'll say Mike's, when I log in using the Zoom integration from vMix, it'll be Mike's vMix machine. or Mike's vmix Zoom integration or something, but it'll be some sort of reference to me, so that my hosts or even some of the participants are going, who's this Mike's what is a vmix? That people don't know what that could be. So totally agree. And I think, Mr. Franklin, you agree? Is that the Indeed was the? I think Mr. Franklin was also agreeing with us. Indeed, it's Indeed. All right, YouTube community, Zoom Test Kitchen community. Any questions from you? Let me know in chat, please, and we'll discuss it with Peter. We've got the new background that Mr. Drinkwater's advertising, the new Happy Holidays Zoom community background.
Yes, available in the Zoom community chat, team chat for Zoom community champions.
Okay.
Great.
And t-shirt if you're lucky.
Hmm.
If you work hard and answer those questions.
John, a non sequitur for a moment. Are you still associated with Toastmasters?
And
You're
on mute now, so now we can't hear you if you are, which is ironic.
I thought the nod gave it away. Very stupidly, I volunteered to do a Toastmasters Christmas special for them, but I'm hoping they'll get a bit worried and gracefully turn me down. But we'll see. I am Toastmaster for our last Toastmaster meeting for Christmas, so I'm the host of the meeting. And yeah,
I'll reach out to you through Discord or some other method. A completely non sequitur question for you regarding Toastmasters.
Okay. Well, you can ask him here. It's fine. It's my origin story, after all. If I hadn't decided to retire and go and look after my parents, I wouldn't have got lonely and depressed and worried, and all those worries you have when you're caring for somebody on your own. So I joined Toastmasters as an outlet.
Oh, well,
and then if
enough.
it wasn't for Zoom, when COVID hit, my Toastmasters world would have crashed and burned. But because of Zoom,
understand.
That's how it all worked.
So roll back. So I'm 68 now. So roll back to when I was 16. So a long time ago. I took through scouting here in the US. My scoutmaster was also a member of Toastmasters, and he took everyone in the troop and took us through the youth public speaking program that at the time Toastmasters offered. Do they still offer that?
Yes, they do. So standard Toastmasters, most of the clubs are face-to-face. There are a few online clubs. I belong to an online club. Those are supposed to be, and it's up to the club if they want to bend the rules. But obviously for child protection issues, they've got to be very careful. So I have seen fathers and sons be members.
Right.
But Toastmasters International would tell you that you have to be 18 or over to join a Toastmasters club. There are two types of big Toastmasters club. There are clubs which are community clubs, so they are for random people who want to join. There are also corporate clubs where a club might be dedicated to a particular corporate company and only employees of that company can be members, and that's up to them. Below the age of 18, there are clubs called gavel clubs. Quite often they're called gavel clubs, and they will often be tied to an education establishment. So there are quite a few schools that have their own Toastmasters clubs. They will have connection with a local Toastmaster club. So Toastmaster club adults will go in and help them run their meetings, but it's up to the kids basically to do most of the work with just a bit of support. And yes, they are they're in quite a few places. Usually well, they're in schools that find that public speaking is useful, and they've started up clubs. There are quite a few gavel clubs, but we at the normal Toastmaster level don't see what's going on there. They're run as a completely separate organization for child protection, security, privacy, and all the other issues. But yes, and they work exactly the same. They do exactly the same format. They do exactly the same teaching. They do exactly the same speaking format of the meetings and the way we do speeches. So they work very well. And yeah, they're called gavel clubs. And yeah, I wish every school had them.
I'll look into it. And the only reason I'm asking is, again, with my associate with the Scouts, there are some cases where I think some of the young folks would benefit from some more public speaking experience.
As a previous scout myself, I would say that having a scouts with a Toastmaster Gavel Club connected would be a fantastic add-on to both organizations. That would be a great tie-up.
And it's never a bad thing to learn how to public speak, no matter what you're doing, because
it got me, and I'll put it in quotes, in trouble when I worked for IBM. Because, and you'll appreciate this one, John, you know, I was working in the lab in Poughkeepsie, New York, development laboratory, but I was one of the guys that was allowed to go out and talk with clients, talk with our customers about future stuff. And our communications people on the site would very carefully prepare slides. And when I don't mean big slides, I mean slides, right? That we would I always had a bad habit of never getting off of the title slide. Because I could stand up and talk. I knew my topic, I could talk about it, I could go up to the chalkboard. Now I'm dating myself yet again. And I could draw the pictures that needed to be drawn. And it was a much more interactive conversation than following a script with slides.
I think very, very strongly the AI has now meant that it's even more important to be able to deliver good quality speech, whatever you're doing.
Without,
because it's so easy now to get a mediocre answer out of Zoom by using AI to represent you, shall we say.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to be above that and deliver good content spontaneously is even more important now than it ever was. AI is forcing us to be better public speakers and better presenters. We can use AI to help us.
Yeah.
And we can use Zoom to give the CEOs talk, but somebody's got to write that talk. And if you write it with AI, we all notice it now. We're all educated enough and experienced enough in AI comments and emojis to notice it when it comes along.
Yeah.
So even if your CEO is going to use AI to translate their presentation, their keynote to other languages, which I think is a great feature of Zoom, they've still got to create the original content themselves. They've still got to do that first speech themselves. Well, and the better they do it, the better it is.
I would be really curious, 20 years ago, IBM sent me through a 1-week course run by our corporate comms people called Media Relations, which is actually how to deal with questions that IBM would just as soon not answer. You know what I'm saying, John?
Yeah. Well, I belong to Microsoft, for instance, in the UK, have a Toastmaster club dedicated to Microsoft people, but they bend the rules a bit because they do allow a few guests to join the club.
Right.
So I was actually a member of Microsoft speakers for about a year. And of course, a lot of the speeches that the Microsoft personnel gave were to do with their job as much as to do with their outside world, because they were practicing the ability to deliver speeches in their Microsoft bubble.
Yeah.
And that was fine.
Well, in this case, it was a different problem. It was if something stupid goes wrong, how do you get the point across without getting yourself in hot water.
Ah, okay. So I have an answer to this given to me by a great Toastmaster friend, Diane Richardson. I have a slide which shows a pencil that snapped.
Yeah.
And that's how I get out of problems.
Oh, we lost Mike.
Yeah, his pencil snapped as well.
Or he's drinking something.
I was indeed. Pete caught me
I hope
drinking.
it was from a Zoom drinking bottle.
Well,
It was not. That's why I made sure I went to black. I did not want to show the logo because they're not sponsoring this current Zoom Test
that's
Kitchen.
right. You're on YouTube, right? We're on YouTube too. Otherwise, I would reach back and grab my
Yeah.
bottle of Talisker.
Yeah, that's right. Words are allowed, but the official answer is we are not currently being sponsored by the current company that I am drinking from. Thank you very much. All right, very good. But if they would like to sponsor us, no, I'm kidding. All right.
Anything else going
All
on?
right. Anything else going on? I know that we were visiting with Josh this week a few times. Production Studio did come up. Pete, let me ask, because John and I love Production Studio. Are you in love with Production Studio?
I've never had the opportunity to use it because I don't have. No. John, before you go, keep in mind, I have 2 Business Pro accounts. That's it. And that's out of my own pocket. I don't run events in the same way Zoom events would run events. I don't need to do that. I mean, I think the largest thing I've run so far in the last 3 years I've done this is 400 people, and it was a webinar. Right.
Okay. So I heard webinar. So far, so good. But heard
it's on my dime. It's on my dime.
Understood.
That's the key.
Understood. Yeah, no, understood. But I heard webinar, and I heard that you're using the graphic toolkit, which means that you will officially have to have a PPA license.
I have a PPA. Yeah, right.
So which means that you have a hub.
Right. But I thought I had to have
that you which means he has access to Webinar Plus, John. Am I doing this wrong? Because it is a Webinar Plus product he has.
Then he would have to pay for tickets.
So close.
Yeah.
But
that's what I said. I thought it was on the only way I get to that would be if I shelled out some more money, to be quite.
Yes. But if you did it for pay-per-view, it would cost you under $2 per person to run an event like that.
Yeah, but I don't charge for, we don't charge for any of the events. These are kids coming in.
Okay. So if you link two events together, then you could use 2 or 3 of your pay-per-views to do a production studio layout for your speakers and then send it into another room.
Yeah.
Now,
not
correct me if I'm wrong.
not that the YouTube heard that because I was whispering.
I'll have to play with that.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, John.
It is a generational difference. Running you don't have to run Production Studio because you have lots of other clever little pieces of software and stuff in your world. But it honestly, comparing Production Studio to just a bland webinar, it really is,
Oh no, I understand. I understand
a big
that.
jump.
The way I do it, maybe I have a Mimo license, and what I have done a few times is I bring in my speakers in through one, and then between Zoom ISO and Mimo Live, create what I want to create, and then send that back out through the other license.
Now, how often are you doing that is a question.
About once a month.
Because that is entirely capable in Production Studio. What you just said.
I don't. I mean, I looked at it for what I could see, but again, what stopped me was what I would have to invest in for the next level up license, and that's a huge jump financially.
Right. Now here's also, and Talak is correct from YouTube. Talak, thank you for that. So correct. So if you did want to have access to liminal as of January,
I'm
you have
already
to
on
have
the PPA license. I'm already on that.
right. So, and John, for my sake, because I don't have a PPA, the PPA license does get him access to Production Studio.
I don't think so. I don't think you can take Production Studio into somebody else's event as you can the other apps.
If I remember correctly, and maybe I was interpreting it wrong, but Production Studio requires the next one up.
Yeah,
from,
it requires what was called Sessions and is now called Webinar Plus.
right. And I just have straight webinar licenses.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Does question liminal, as far
It's
as
not a
my
liminal app. No, don't think of it as, please. I know it's got to do with them, but Production Studio is not a liminal app.
right?
It's a
What I was going
function of Zoom events.
right now, that's right. Now, is not liminal also, and I'm going to double check the website because that's where I'm thinking that the PPA is a Webinar Plus product now,
Yes,
where it used to be Sessions.
it is.
Right.
But you don't spend your PPA vouchers if you run a normal webinar.
Yeah, that's
So
the
if
key.
you buy a PPA license and
Well,
you
to
get
get-
access to the liminal apps, which she has, and you then take them into your webinar, you can use them in your webinar because you have the hub and you have the right to use those apps. You can even take them to somebody else's webinar and run them in somebody else's webinar.
Right. And I have.
But what you can't do is you can't turn on Production Studio because you need to be a Webinar Plus or an events license event to hold to get the menu down, to get Production Studio and to get it to run.
Right.
So, and that's why I'm saying don't think of Production Studio as an app because it isn't. It's a feature that is turned on when you get Webinar Plus or Zoom events.
Right. You know.
But again, you're not perhaps the direct target market.
No, I'm not.
Because you've already got some other toys. It's the people that don't have any toys at all.
Right.
And then they go from just a plain old webinar, which quite a lot of them think is a downgrade because they had this meeting app where they had people that could appear on the screen and stuff. And then they go to the webinar and they think, well, what's happened? All my audience have disappeared. They can't put their cameras on. This looks like a step backwards. But it isn't because it's a different way of presenting. And then when you take those people from webinar to Webinar Plus, it is and they've not got any production hardware or software.
Right.
It is just mind blowing for them. And obviously in the corporate world where they don't see those license costs in the same way as we will, for them it's an open goal really. Once they see it, they are blown away.
Yeah.
And we
no,
see that all the time.
you know, as you say, I mean, I liken what has happened in my home office to what happened in my living room when I was in my 20s. When I was in my 20s, we were all trying to figure out if we had the best stereo rack amongst friends, right? And now it's,
Well, I had to have all those ATEMs connected and running Zoom meetings, connecting to Zoom meetings to run my first Toastmaster event 6 weeks into COVID lockdown because that's all that was possible.
Yeah.
And I look at what I can do now in Production Studio, and I don't need any of that equipment, although I still like using it for other things. But I don't need any of that equipment to run a really good quality experience for people. Production Studio and Backstage just transform the events for the experience of the speakers, and to be honest, for the audience as well, because the interaction that they get from chat and from Q&A and from feeling that they are being listened to, because it's just easier to manage compared to what they used to be in Zoom meeting, where you just see them all bored sitting there on their screens. It's just another world.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, there are not too many hobbyists who do this for volunteer work that have a 2ME sitting on their desk.
Fact.
And they didn't upgrade it this year, so I managed to persuade myself not to buy one.
Yes. Both of you behave would be the official answer. Is
Oh, I was looking at the new Sony versions. Sorry, is it Sony S7 version 5?
The latest, yes.
Yeah, that's really quite cool. A good challenge for users. And we've been TikToked to nothing in the UK. I don't know what it's like over there, but we've been TikTok to nothing with all these people on running TikTok stores selling screens, and to see 65-inch quality TV screens for under $500 is just frightening. In fact, there was somebody offering a 100-inch, or was it 98? Oh, who cares? It's still enormous. 98 or 100-inch. I think it was Hisense.
No, yes, I've seen those screens.
And it was £1,100. And I'm starting to think, my Zoom wall of screens with all tiles running, that world is now within my grasp. I could have two or three big 65-inch screens up in front of me or behind me. I could put Zoom tiles on them. Start really stretching my 500 and 1,000 seat license events things that I have. And
Yeah,
next year
and
could
Pete
be
and
really
Pete
good
needs
fun.
to add to his library. I'll show everybody what Pete's showing us. Going up.
Yeah, come on, Pete. Those little things. Yeah, 65-inch screens now, dime a dozen now.
I couldn't put a 65-inch screen up there. That's just a 40-inch.
Yeah, my main monitor is a 40-inch, and I've got a 4 in, 1 out. So it actually uses quadrants on the 40-inch.
Yeah.
To bring in 4 different streams from different places.
I've thought about that because I could do that, but
well, you could with your 2ME, but I've only got 3 ATEMs, so I have to be a bit more inventive in the way I push stuff around.
But the 227.
Yes, everybody on YouTube, you just heard that these guys have way too much tech, that they don't even, that some of it's collecting dust somewhere.
Too much tech, too much time.
Isn't that true?
Between that and
too many hats as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. And he doesn't know what color he wants to wear right now. That's true.
Yeah.
It's red, white, and blue. He's getting,
I should get my Zoom community champion hat on and put that on top as well. Yeah. I have to remember to wear the right. I'm going to need an app soon to remind me which hat to wear to the right meeting.
That's right. Yeah. It'll come up in your, it'll be a pre-screen going, John, Lord Zoom hat. Okay. All right. And on top of that too, what was I going to say? I was doing a little digging, and I believe that either the Sport Dog is right or wrong. And I am curious, Pete.
Well, that's a profound statement.
Yeah. Again, we've teetered either way in the Sport Doc world. I did say it says requirements for customizing scenes in Zoom webinars plus production studio. And it says the host must have a pro account, which Pete does. And also it needs to be either a Zoom webinars plus unlimited license or Zoom webinars plus pay per attendee license.
Yes, but that means that every person that turns up to his event, he'll have to have a pay per attendee ticket for them. And he's bought 50 for the whole year. And if he's got 400 people turning up, he'll need 400 tickets, which will cost him about $700.
Yeah. So that's so I think I'm given, and I openly admit, with all the toys I have here, I can come pretty close.
I'm pretty sure you can surpass what they do in production studio, to be honest.
Yeah.
Let's be
if I could only get tiles to work on Tahoe, I'd be happy.
To get tiles work to do what? Say that again. To get tiles to.
I'm a Mac user. Keep that in mind.
Understood.
All right. So tiles currently does not work really well on the latest release of Apple's operating system called Tahoe. Mac OS 26 is better known as Tahoe.
Right. And of course, your machine currently that is a Talos machine is now taking the update for the new OS, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And I'm
everything else,
going
by
to
the way,
assume
everything else works. That's the irony of it, right? It's there's something, and there's something unique in the interaction between tiles and the operating system, because right now Zoom Graphics is running on that same machine and it's working just fine. Thank you very much.
yeah. Again, it's not very again, they're not using any for sure. I can tell you that the graphic toolkit is not looking much at hardware at all because it's all text, to be honest.
Yeah, but it'll need a library that's compatible with the new version Tahoe, and that's probably where it falls down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
the programming library that they're using for tiles, that is.
Yeah.
So the last when I sent a note to Andy, he said, "Yeah, there's a known bug," and he thought it was fixed in the latest release candidate beta. So of course, for grins, I went and loaded that release candidate up on my one machine. Still didn't fix it. So.
Right.
So there's a framework somewhere that needs to be adjusted.
There's Program Peak coming out there. I heard that. What a good word. Framework is the right answer.
Yeah, you're talking to a guy who used to design chips. Let's be real honest.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So that's cool. So yes, so you're right. So if you did go up to the next level up from PPA to the lowest of the Zoom events, I guess would be officially the next terminology, even though it's still Webinar Plus.
Yeah, don't get me started.
Yeah. Don't get John and I started on that either. That's why we're going. That's why I'm like, it's one of those. Is it a tick box or is that tick box there or not there? So officially, it is there for the PPA people, but again, you now are that Webinar Plus then is going to affect your PPA numbers. Full stop. So whatever number of PPAs you have, it will diminish as people sign up, quote unquote. Or actually, it's more. Hold on, enter, sign up, enter. John, I'm remembering that wrong.
Is it as soon as they set foot in the hub, they are counted.
Right. Okay. So enter is the right answer.
Well, I would use the word enter. I would be very careful to use the word hub because there are people that have had users that join the hub but never go into the actual event. But because they went into the hub, they were already counted as a user.
Right.
And that was sign up. Would that be signing up?
No, you can sign up, but if you enter the hub, you count as a licensed entrant to that, whatever it is, Webinar Plus event. If you go into the hub, that's when you're counted, not when you go into the webinar.
Okay. So no matter if you click that webinar link or not. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. An events license, you may have lots of different webinar options to go through during an event. You're counted once you go into the hub, and then you can, once you're in the hub for that particular event, you can drop into as many of the options that are made available to you under whatever ticketing you've got. But as far as you've licensed to the user that's running the event, it's when the user enters the hub that they are counted in the license, and the license key counts down one.
So in the real world, that would be as soon as I make it through from the parking lot into the building, I'm using that PPA.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
And the one silly question I have, and I haven't actually asked anybody, but like this one, is does Zoom count when Production Studio enters as a user?
Yeah, we don't know that answer, do we?
No.
Not again with John and I with our licensing. No, we don't. It doesn't affect our licensing, but that would be interesting if it is classified as a PPA then.
Well,
and if you do a video, you get two people join, two video virtual people join, do they count against your license?
True.
Through the studio, right?
Yeah, we're talking production studio here. So, John, explain a
Yeah.
little more why.
Yeah,
when
so
we go into video.
production studio is a cloud app now. This is why it's now getting to a point where it can do lots of really clever things because it's not running on a PC, and therefore we're going to blow up your PC with work. It's now running in the cloud, and the way it works is that all the speakers connect to the cloud version production
The
studio.
cloud instance, yeah.
Yeah, and then production studio then appears like another user on your screen of participants. So you've got your speakers, you've got yourself, maybe you're the host, you may have a co-host there, you've got a couple of speakers. Well, production studio is seen as another speaker. And when it's running, it's effectively spotlights itself, and all the audience just see what's coming out of production studio. Whereas the speakers on the stage can see all the other speakers on the stage, and they can see production studio as one of the speakers. So they can see each other, but only if production studio has chosen them can they be seen by the audience.
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool that way. But John is right. Our production studio classified as a PPA ticket or not? And on top of that, too, with the current version of the way that videos kick in when the videos are playing, it's two, John, right?
Yeah. So they, for safety's sake, for that backup sake, I've never seen it go wrong, but obviously they thought it was needed at this time. Two other people turn up, and when you play a video, the production studio person hands it over to the video person, and the video person plays the video for you. And this limit to 5 videos may quite easily have been a limit to the processing, because maybe when they started looking at video processing, Zoom hadn't got to the cloud yet. Or it may be that they're just trying to work out how much power they need in their cloud servers to process videos.
Right.
But when you do a video, in fact, do you know, I have this feeling that we do this sometimes, don't we, Mike? Don't we do a show on a Monday and a Tuesday night, and some other times I throw out other ones? Isn't there a Law Zoom live on a Tuesday when we use production studio?
Yes.
Yeah,
we've been religiously using that for the last couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks. I think we've religiously used it for a couple of 2 or 3 months now, my friend.
That's true. That's true. But again, you've given me full control. So I've only been running it for a couple of weeks.
That's the kicker, isn't it? Peter's got this lovely room, but at the end of the day, he's the only one who can touch all these bits of tech around him. Whereas production studio is in the cloud, and you can have 2 or 3 people who can take it in turn to take control of production studio and run your events.
Well,
So
it's like
that's-
I was in a different, no pun intended, a different scale. I used tail scale, and what I wanted to try was in Zoom graphics. I wanted to try, what do they call it now? The external moderation, right?
Okay.
Yep.
But that I mean, if you think about it, in my world, if I'm going to do that, I need to be able to give somebody access to the computer where Zoom graphics is running.
Right. Remotely. And again, remotely, or if somebody is beside you, then so be it, but remotely, correct.
The odds are they're somewhere else.
And Grok.
Right. So, but Tailscale lets me extend my network of that machine out, and they can come into it with that web browser can show up. They can browse that web link just fine. Thank you very much. And control it.
Yeah, in the Zoom developer world, John, they use
ngrok, or ngrok as I call it, but everybody else calls it ngrok. And that allows you to take a local URL, a local URL, so it could be a local host and a port, and then you make an external URL with their domain name, or you can pay for it and have their own dedicated domain name. But I use one of Ngrok's domain names.
Huh. Okay.
And that's how I test all my my Zoom apps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find Tailscale useful for other reasons, just
Yeah,
because
it's the same principle. It's the
Yeah.
same principle, but yeah, it works well. You could easily do that.
for those of us who are old enough to remember a thing called Hamachi.
Well, for some of us who are old enough to remember the ZX80, there was no internet to connect to at the time.
Oh, yeah, it was called that in my world. It was called SNA. Or actually, I go back far enough. I don't like to admit this too often, but I go pre-SNA.
I
Bicycle.
flew a Victor tanker simulator in 1981.
I was already out of college for 3 years at that point.
And it was an analog computer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Which meant it was rather big.
It had its own room, John.
It had its own building almost. It was enormous, the room, because everything was all analog, you know.
Well, the
it wasn't electronics, it was mechanical analog things. And
the original flight simulator for the space shuttle was not a computer like you would think of it with screens. There was a giant model of the landing strip area down at about probably 1/100th scale, right? And a tiny little camera mounted on a boom that when you were flying the flight controls, it would approach the landing strip.
Yeah, we're even getting comments from our Zoom Test Kitchen community. Giles from the world of live streaming says, "quote unquote," I remember the Hamachi and still have a working ZX80.
Whoa!
Look at that.
Welcome to Zoom Test Kitchen Geek Fest. How are you today?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so now who's going to compile Zoom onto a ZX80? Going once? Okay, too late. All right. Will it work? Will a browser work on a ZX80?
Wow. I've never written a browser in BASIC, but I suppose you could.
Oh, 10 equals 10 space print space Zoom?
Let.
Oh, hold on. I didn't do but go to 10 yet.
Got to do it right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, don't get me started. I also learned Waterloo structure basic too. Don't get me going down that road either. From our friends at Water University in wonderful Canada.
So I remember Watt 4 and Watt Ball, but I don't remember structured basic from Waterloo.
You don't remember Waterloo structure basic?
I don't.
Again, it was on, well, again, these were on Commodores. So I'm full stopping on that.
Oh, no.
So you needed at least the 64. Well, yeah, you needed at least were they doing it on a PET? I don't remember.
So the Watt Ball and Watt 4 I'm pretty sure were done on the 360 Model 75s that they had at Waterloo at the time. So that's 1960s era technology.
Mm-hmm. We're geeking out on the Zoom Test Kitchen. We're zooming. All right, we're zooming back into the past.
Do you want to see the original 40-pin cable?
Do it.
You know what?
Do it.
Can you guess what I'm talking about, John?
40 pin serial cable. 40, yeah, it would be 40. It would be definitely a serial cable. All right. We're going to do a quick show and tell before we finish this week's Zoom Test Kitchen. We're just waiting for Pete.
This is the original 40-pin cable.
Look at that monster.
That was, at least in the US world, that was better known as FIPS 60. Federal Information Processing Standard number 60. This was a parallel cable.
Oh, it was parallel, not a serial. Okay.
Yeah. all the data lines and all the control lines. And it took 2 of these to hook up a device. So-called bus and tag.
So one was sent, one was received then.
Yes, essentially.
Right. Okay. I wanted to go basic on that for everybody on YouTube. Yeah. So basically, yeah. So one cable was send and one was received per se.
And this is how you hooked up devices to the mainframe.
Yeah. And now everybody complains that they don't know what USB-C cable to use. I'm just saying.
Yeah. The one in before I retired, the one that was usually the problem for us was people who didn't understand the difference between multi-mode and single mode fiber. You're giving me a blank look, John.
No, I'm having an argument about Telnet and Prestel adapters on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
We've gone off the rails. Zoom Test Kitchen. You guys are being quiet with us, but yet we're just still chatting it up in YouTube. And of course, any other further questions related to Zoom, Liminal, Production Studio, meetings, Webinar Plus, events,
Yeah.
let us know on YouTube. And of course, we will do our best to answer that before we wrap up this week's edition of the Zoom Test Kitchen. Telnet or teletext? John is continuing his crusade with our friend Giles from the world of live streaming. And that was the hint, by the way, everybody on YouTube. You were given that question earlier by me. What does WOLS, or WALS as I call it, stand for? And that was, of course, the old YouTube show that Giles and I used to be on that may be coming soon to a YouTube near you called The World of Live Streaming back in the day. All right, I'll just give it a couple more minutes and take into consideration the delay with our friends at YouTube. And we'll, if we don't have any other further questions, we'll wrap it up for this Friday's edition of the Zoom Test Kitchen.
I did note that Peter was reminded to clear his cache if he upgrades his liminal apps.
I always do. I always do.
There you go. Taluk, good tip, Taluk. And there's your answer from Pete.
Yeah, well, Taluk and I've talked a few times about that.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Yes. So again, very good tip. Again, because again, older versions, newer versions, again, there could be things that might clash.
Yeah. The other tip that I have that I enforce on myself is before I do anything that is quote unquote production, meaning I'm going to run, is I reboot all my machines.
Yeah. 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 As a matter of fact, part of my workflow when I come into the studio that I'm in right now, broadcasting from you today. I sound like a good television person. Broadcasting if you're from here today. Where I am today, that is part of my thing is that I will purposely turn on my equipment and make sure my ATEM is on first. For whatever reason, my ATEM Mini Pro for many, many moons, if it's on after I boot my computer, for whatever reason, I have audio and video sync issues. But yet, if I boot the ATEM first before I turn on the computer or boot the computer, everybody's happy. I don't know if that's been fixed or not, but I'm keeping that as part of my checklist of, I do this first, then that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not tempted to break that for any particular reason, because chances are as soon as I do it, it'll be like, oh, audio and video is out of sync again. Oh, okay. All right. There's a good question. Do you guys prefer having captions turned on or off with Zoom if you're doing a push if you're going to push off into YouTube, meaning if we're going to send to YouTube? What do you think, Pete?
Well, I want the audience on YouTube to see the same thing my regular live audiences see. So this kind of an audience. So I push the captions out from Zoom. I mean, it's real
Right.
simple. I mean, there's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, depending on, I'm trying to think of that. I'm trying to figure out WCA bar. I don't know who you are, but I'm thinking I might know who you are. But the official answer is YouTube right now. If you did turn on closed captioning, the actual YouTube closed captioning, we are not sending the proper channel to YouTube for that button to be activated to actually have the closed captionings to be on and off. So we are forcing Zoom to burn it in before it actually sends out the feed from the Zoom servers to YouTube. That's why you are seeing the actual captioning in the lower portion of the screen of YouTube. And yes, it cannot be disabled because we are burning it in. Is that something that I have brought to as a feature request that needs to be done differently? Because again, it is the way that currently Zoom is dealing with sending how it sends the YouTube feeds from their Zoom servers to YouTube.
Right.
So there would have to be a modification done at their end to actually send to the proper closed captioning mechanism of YouTube without getting into too techy, to make sure that that closed captioning button works properly. You will notice if you watch broadcast television and they send it from their encoders, they are also sending the closed captioning feed properly because they're already embedding it properly within their system when it's embedded out to go to all the broadcast partners and over, if they're sending it over, over antenna, over the air. That is already burnt in properly, but it's its own different protocol.
Yeah.
Right now, it won't get any further than that into the weeds of that, but that's the difference right now, is that Zoom is not using the standardized protocol that YouTube is also using. So it will never be on that button until further notice. But I have asked. Oh, it is. Yeah, Hershey Bar. I thought it was you. Okay, I was wondering if you were asking me that question. Different user on YouTube. I thought it was you. But yes, that's the reasoning for closed captioning button not being activated right now. So if you did click on it right now, it'll actually say that there's nothing there, and you won't be able to see the captioning until we are finished live. Then you'll have that capability. But again, what's happening there is YouTube is now taking the audio in the back end and now doing an audio to text dump and making their own
SRT file.
Yeah, SRT file. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I gotta remember, I've got protocols in my brain going SRT, and then the subtitles is also SRT too. Yes, so I gotta remember that too. Yeah, so yeah. But yeah, so that's where they're making, and again, this is where Hershey is more specifically too. You mentioned to me that you wanted to be able to do multiple languages. And again, you have to have that capability in your actual YouTube channel to be able to go in there and actually add the different languages. But again, it may or may not convert it for you. You may have to manually input in the different languages. Right. Right. And Hershey's just letting me know that, yeah, okay, that, yeah, different version of his YouTube account. So that's cool. All right. John, anything else before we wrap up for this week, sir? That was a quick one on closed captioning. And you were unmuted, I swear, and now you are muted again.
That's no, I think it's all right.
We're all good?
Yeah.
Pete, anything going on this week that anybody know about?
No, not really.
Not really. Nothing with the Boy Scouts this week?
Not till Tuesday.
Not till
coming Tuesday.
Cool. The big event that I'll be probably involved with most of the week myself, besides anything related to Zoom, will be that if anybody is interested and want to get into the weeds a little more on streaming media, there is Streaming Media Connect, and it's all virtually being done. They do this multiple times a year. and I will be there or virtually participating in Streaming Media Connect in all the different webinars that they'll be having all week.
Sounds good.
All right. On that note, I will wrap it up.
All right.
We'll tie it in a bow for this week's Zoom Test Kitchen.
Have a good one.
So, yeah, it was an interesting one. Yeah, we got that. We were able to get that thing fixed through the to that title related. So capitalization, again, it was just in the HTML template, so that was cool. Playing around with the graphic toolkit, and of course Andy joining us, of course, very conveniently available. He just so happened to be. It sounded like he had a day off today, but thanks for joining us, Andy. We appreciate that as usual.
I'm sure his bride appreciated him going into pseudo work for an hour.
Yeah, and you never know. She might have still been working too, so you never know. That's true. So, but yeah, no, Andy, we always appreciate you showing up. And magically, we didn't have to say your name 3 times. I think Andy, I think David said it twice. To be honest, I don't know if it was 3 times. I know we joke about that, but we always appreciate you coming to visit us. But it's time, ladies and gentlemen, cats and dogs, and however they say that. It's karaoke time.
All right. Have a good one, folks.
Here we go.
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen where the magic happens live.
Live.
Every Friday we're on air testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks, we'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with these. So if your meetings lag or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back. No
No wreck. Let's not wreck. Did we wreck anything today? No, I don't think we did wreck anything. Almost. Thanks everyone for joining us this week on the Zoom Test Kitchen. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to let YouTube know how much you love our content. We're always here every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. And of course, check your local listings to match up the times to our 3 p.m. Eastern time zone. See everyone next week for another rendition and edition of the Zoom Test Kitchen. Take care, everyone. Have a good weekend.